We got a bunch of ice, but then the rain came in today and got rid of all of it. But we're watching the weather because it's supposed to dip back down tonight and freeze again. So they already called school off tomorrow because another ice storm coming tonight. We probably got like half an inch of ice, like just solid ice, just piling up. But then it started raining when I woke up today. That destroyed the ice. And then it was like 40 degrees. So, but tonight it's going to drop quickly. They're talking like it's going from like 40 right now to like fucking 22 tonight or some shit. Sorry, 20. It's going to be 20 by 7 a.m. 18 at 8 a.m. What you think about? And the high's only 20 tomorrow. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They want to let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away. We feel betrayed. Yeah, like fucking 4 degrees on Monday. Never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves. We won't let the world burn away. Burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack. Kill it anyway. To play. Oh, wrong button. Let's start Facebook real quick. Dude, that shit in Minneapolis just makes me fucking mad. Like, it fucking so mad to see MAGA flip from everywhere with a gun and cheering on Kyle Rittenhouse and Second Amendment and everybody should carry and I carry every day to like, well, if a federal agent sees you with a holstered gun, they can just fucking murder you, and that's what happens. Ooh, I don't fucking, goddamn. I had to stop looking at Facebook. I was so mad about it. Like, it's just more and more of the same. Well, so one guy told me on Facebook, I would never carry. So, they fantasize about like this crazy, like, we're going to take on the government one day and just wait, we'll be taking it over. And when they become tyrannical and blah, 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 they fantasize about this when Democrats are in office, right? Over mask mandates and crazy shit, right? They go to the streets with their AR-15s. Well, one guy told me in the comments that I would never carry my firearm in an area where there's potential for civil unrest. And what the fuck? What the fuck do you have it for, bro? Like, what the fuck where, when, how, when are you ever going to use it? Another guy told me, well, you got to anticipate if you're going to have an altercation with cops, then you probably shouldn't be carrying. So every fucking day of my life, every day, every time I leave the house, even in my house, there's a chance for an altercation with police officers.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, glad you guys are here again. And I don't know. We took last night off because of the ice and stuff. And we did get ice, but the rain killed most of it today. But we're going to be back again. Tonight, it's still raining right now, and it's supposed to switch over to ice. So I'm watching that on the security camera, I guess. And I got to go home. But yeah, it was pretty bad in some areas, not in others. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We kind of got the warm pocket that we're talking about hit just perfectly to where it made like a little loop around our area, and we got a lot more rain than we did ice. My sister was without power for a day and a half or something. They got a lot of snow. So we'll see where that ends up. The stuff in Minneapolis is wild. Of course, it happens when I'm not live or going live. I don't know. It's just insane. The fact that the pro-gun people are making the excuse for like, well, you should be carrying. Well, if you know you're going to have an interaction with cops, well, it's fucking insane. It's insanity. Oh, this guy does it. This is that guy that does both sides politics. I was just watching his video. He does the arguments for both sides, basically. Like, he makes a liberal character and a right-wing character, and I don't know, just watch.
A Border Patrol agent just murdered another person in Minneapolis. It's a tragedy and there should be an investigation, but jumping to the conclusions that it was an...
They're not even saying this. They're not even saying that it's a tragedy and there should be an investigation.
Execution before we know all the facts is absurd. Talk about jumping to conclusions. The DHS X account has already deemed the officer feared for his life and fired defensive shots. Tell me if these look like defensive shots.
Well,
It's a lack of training, right? One guy screams gun, And then they hear a gunshot. Doesn't come from this guy. They hear a gunshot, and then they just fucking unload.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
And then just keep shooting.
Did they fucking kill him?
And then the way the shots continue even after the man is lying motionless. DHS says the man approached him with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun on him with 2
And it's wild to say he approached nobody. To say that he approached ICE agents, first of all, is not true. The ICE agents approached him while he was trying to beat up some woman. Second of all, no, when you say someone approached officers with a firearm, no one's ever thinking a holstered and concealed firearm. They're thinking brandishing in their hand, something, right? If I say this man approached officers with a knife, no one would think it was my pocket knife in my pocket, clipped. You know what I mean?
2 rounds, and they were attempting to disarm him. He was clearly violently resisting arrest. Have you not realized, Cal, that the DHS lies through their teeth? Watch this video.
I personally think, I don't know, I think 2 agents fired. I think one either decided to assassinate this guy from the back and shot him in the back, or 2 had a negligent discharge while he had his gun out. And that's why we hear a pop, and then there's like a little bit of a break where they all back off, and then the other agents shoot just fucking mag dumps, like insane. But I don't know.
That looks like the victim.
Other people are saying that if you slow down the video where the guy, the ICE agent that disarmed him, they took his gun from him before any shots were fired. They're saying that the guy that disarmed him fired that guy's weapon. Like the one he took from the victim, he fired the victim's weapon while he was running away. I don't see that, but some people say they do.
Before the shooting, he was there peacefully observing and filming. Okay, but that doesn't show when things escalated. Oh, but this video does. You'll see the victim keeping his distance.
And we have another angle where they're like, oh, he assaulted the cop or hit the cop or whatever, or hit the ICE agent, whatever. He honestly just throws his arm up. I don't even think he makes contact. There's another angle from like the car right in front of him, and he's just like this. Like he doesn't touch anybody.
I'm telling the agents to not violently push fellow observers, to which they do, and then
it seems more like a hey, like why are you pushing people? Like what are you doing? He was pepper sprayed. He couldn't see. He's trying to help this woman up. He ends up latching onto her because once you're blinded, I mean, I would grab onto some shit too. This guy in the gray jacket clearly removes the weapon, runs away with it, and it matches the weapon picture. The scale. I've only been talking about the optic because that's something that people can see, right? It was a RMR, like a mini red dot. The optic matches perfectly, but you can also see the slide matches, the scales match, but most people don't know what that is. So. And he's on all fours. Like, anybody saying that he reached for his gun, there's no fucking way. He's carrying in the small of his back, right? He's on all fours. What the fuck did he reach with?
when you have a concealed handgun on you, it's probably not best to resist federal officers when they're trying to arrest you.
This is just not true, right? Having a concealed weapon, even if you get in a fight with an officer, if you don't draw the weapon, who gives a fuck?
Concealed carry is legal in Minnesota, and police say he had a legal permit to carry.
Imagine you go up and pick a fight with a off-duty cop, okay? Let's say you're at a bar, you go up and punch an off-duty cop in the back of the head, right? You pick this fight. You see, when you punch him, he falls to the ground, he's carrying a gun, and you just pull out your gun and unload on the cop, off-duty cop. That's the argument you're making.
But also there were like 8 agents against one man, and they escalated it to a violent arrest almost instantly. But I want you to watch this.
No cops have any rights you don't, right? There's maybe, technically, legally, there's maybe enshrined and protected and qualified immunity and blah, blah, blah. But they don't, like if I couldn't shoot someone for just having a holstered gun on their back that I happen to see, if I couldn't pull my weapon out and fucking shoot you for that, then they can't shoot me for that.
It seems like one of the agents disarms the victim before shots were fired. Agents in the moment don't have the luxury to live in slow motion, but that video doesn't seem totally clear. It could be the agent's gun. Use your freaking eyes.
The agent's gun with a custom sight, custom scales, custom slide.
007 just resubscribed for 18 months. I support Bert's luscious locks.
Thank you very much for the resubscription. Codename Narc. I support Bert's locks too. I don't think Bert's been live lately.
The agent pulls it out of his waistband and runs off with it. Why else would that agent run away? Again, we don't know all the details. We don't know if the man said something threatening to the agents. We haven't seen from the agent's perspective what exactly he saw that caused him to fire. I mean, Greg Booby, you know.
I don't give a fuck what he said to him. I don't give a fuck if he said, I'm going to kill you and go fuck your mom on your casket. I don't give a fuck what he said.
Says the agent who fired was highly trained with 8 years of experience. But also, again, there were like 8 agents there and only 1 agent fired. So he was the only one who feared for his life. Plus, it seems pretty clear the victim was disarmed. You can believe your eyes on that one. Look, there's a reason why investigations take months and trials can take years. There's a lot of factors involved and still a lot we don't know. It's also true that agents are human beings and are capable of making mistakes in the heat of the moment, especially when assaults against them are up 1,300% this year. We have a legal system to figure out if he was justified. Let that system play out. Yeah, well, I don't think many of us trust an investigation.
No one even, they don't, on that side, they don't even want the justice system involved. They're just saying, good shoot. Like, good to go.
When DHS has already deemed the shooting justified, I think we have enough angles where reasonable people can believe their eyes that this was a murder. I like to wait to see all facts before coming to my conclusion. Well, DHS already came to theirs, and you came to yours because it's clear. A Border Patrol agent just
even if that was their argument, right? Even if the argument was like, let the investigation go through. I like to see all the facts. Even if that was, it's not for the vast majority of MAGA. If that was true, look at how they celebrated Kyle Rittenhouse. The night of. They're like, hell yeah, get you some. Fuck around, find out. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I can't talk about it too long. I'm going to get fucking pissed.
I watched James Bowman's press conference in Minneapolis today, so you don't have to, and here's my overview. The craziest thing he said was a direct quote that sounds exactly like it has to do with Nick Shirley, but is not. He said, many of the most viral stories of the past couple weeks have turned out to be at best partially true. So we want to try people based on reality, based on truth, based on context. We're not going to prejudge people based on a viral social media story that turned out to be half false. He's talking about the mainstream media here, not Nick Shirley. That's insane. He spoke for like 30 minutes. He mentioned Biden one time. He starts off by saying that he really wants to turn down the temperature, but also all of the federal law enforcement officers are doing a really good job and the media is just lying about it. He says a bunch of far left agitators have been harassing and doxing ICE officers, and says that even last week there were off-duty officers who were super scared because they went into a restaurant and someone locked a door and they were just petrified of having a locked door in a public space. Pay to bitches, if you ask me. He says things are only out of hand because state officials aren't helping ICE, and he says that instead what state officials should do is give ICE all of the information they need to harass.
This is not true. The head of prisons in Minnesota has come forward and shown, like, we do prison time. We've always worked with ICE. It's not like a new thing that we're doing now. We've always worked with ICE.
And kill the citizens of Minneapolis. Then he claims that state and local officials are telling the people of Minneapolis to assault ICE officers. I must have missed that press conference. Throughout this whole thing, he's just going to throw out a bunch of hypotheticals that don't really have a point. He's just saying a hypothetical. He's like, say there's a hypothetical where there's a business and then there's one illegal immigrant and then the police show up and arrest that illegal immigrant. Then, of course, people are going to be scared. Don't know the point there. And then he goes into another hypothetical. Say there's a sex offender and we don't know what their address is. Then local officials should tell us where they are. I'd like to see all of these refusal from local and state officials to tell the Trump administration and federal officers where sex offenders are. I'd like to see proof of just one instance of that. Then he says they're going to do their best to be professional and respect people's rights as they're actively violating people's rights, and then he starts taking questions. A reporter asks, hey, you're arresting 5-year-olds and American citizens. Are you proud of what ICE is doing? And he says, I'm proud that we're standing behind law enforcement. And then he says that he did follow-up research and the 5-year-old wasn't arrested. Their father was an illegal alien and that person ran. So then they detained a 5-year-old. And then also Americans who were detained all assaulted ICE officers.
By the way, multiple people there. They're trying to say that they didn't have anybody to leave the kid with. Multiple people there stood up and tried to take the kid. His own teacher was there and tried to take the kid.
Every single one of them. He will repeat that later in the speech. He also is just making up points that no one is saying. He will repeat this one multiple times. He says it doesn't make any sense if you have children that you have immunity from police officers. No one ever claimed that. He's just making up a problem and then saying, it doesn't make any sense, this problem that I just made up. He says himself and the Trump administration never said that federal law enforcement officers have absolute immunity. I pulled this directly from my notes from him speaking on January 8th. On January 8th, J.D. Vance said, federal officers have absolute immunity when doing a federal job, and then he repeats that again in the same speech. He says instead that all he was really saying is that they'll investigate it on a federal level so that they don't get caught up in a kangaroo court in Minnesota. He says the murder of Renee Good was definitely a tragedy, but also she definitely rammed a federal officer, so she totally deserved it. Again, because he keeps just saying things that make no sense and have no point to them. He says that as a child, he saw people in his family get arrested, and it's definitely traumatic, but just...
I did have one comment from one Trump supporter that was like, hey, I'm a Trump supporter, but he needs to disavow this. That was bad. One.
Because you have children doesn't mean you have immunity from police officers. Again, whatever that means. This one's funny if it's true, and I hope they keep it up if it is. He says that every time that they tell local officials where ICE is going to be and who's going to be involved in that, they end up with those ICE officers' pictures on Reddit as well as the locations that they're going to be. Good job, Minneapolis local officials. I appreciate that. Because he can't straight up say that we are entering premises without warrants. He says some hypothetical about, well, if you're getting fired at from someone inside a house, you don't need a warrant for that. And then he just goes on this...
When asked about ICE agents entering without actual warrants, right? No judicial warrants, instead administrative warrants. He says, well, if they're getting shot at, you don't need a warrant for that.
Long nonsensical rant about how they're using administrative warrants instead of bench warrants and say that the courts may weigh in on this, but as far as they're concerned, this is their best faith understanding of how the law works, and then keep saying the courts might also completely disagree with our interpretation and understanding of the law. He starts talking about his understanding of the Insurrection Act and says that all it would do would be to allow the military to come in and enforce local laws, like the National Guard in D.C., for example. And I do understand that D.C. is a little different because the National Guard of D.C. is controlled by the president, but if the National Guard would be deployed anywhere else, which he continues to threaten to do, that would be invoking the Insurrection Act. He says there's so many ICE officers in Minneapolis and they don't want them to be there because it's cold, but they have to be there because they're protecting people from all of the rioters who started rioting.
What's crazy is this is all supposed to be about rapists and drug dealers and child molesters and the worst, the worst, the worst, the worst. Then they send a letter to the governor of Minnesota saying, hey, if you give us your food stamp data, everybody on food stamp, their names, their location, their address, all the data you have on them, and all of your voter rolls, we'll pull ICE out. We don't need them there.
Because they sent in more ICE officers who ended up killing an innocent American citizen. He says again that the only American citizens who are being arrested are the ones who are assaulting ICE officers.
Oh, I forgot. Trump's on a big kick tonight about literally the new NFL kickoff rules. He's trying to change the NFL kickoff rule. That's what he's arguing about tonight on social media. The NFL kickoff rules. To allow a greater chance for a return. Because if you've watched the NFL in the last goddamn 10 years, kickers are getting so strong, it's just fair catch, fair catch, fair catch, fair catch in the end zone, right? Touchback. Over and 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 over again. So they space them out a little bit more to give a little more distance and hopefully have some returns again because returns are fun to watch. Nope, not with Trump. He says he can't even stand to watch it. He's got those big ticket issues.
And they're definitely not racially profiling anyone and just pulling people off the street because of the color of their skin. That's totally not happening. He will repeat again, not looking for people who broke the immigration law based on their skin color, just looking for people who broke the law in general, and then says that they have the right to do that by going door to door, which is illegal because local law enforcement officers won't tell them where all these sex predators live. The reporter says, hey, even police in Minneapolis are saying that they're being targeted based on the color of their skin when they're off duty. And he says, I don't know that that's true, but if it is true, we'll look into it, but it's probably not true. The reporter asks, what's the plan if nothing changes with your interaction with state and local officials? And he says, the only reason that we're in Minneapolis is because it has the highest concentration of people violating immigration laws. Yes, that makes a whole lot of sense that the highest concentration of people violating immigration laws would be in the northernmost part of our country when most of the violations of immigration law happen at the southern border. That makes a lot of sense. JD loves his little qualifier words that mean that he's not actually saying something that's completely untrue. It's just partially untrue, just like the comment he made at the beginning. He says that most of the protesters have been peaceful, but many of them have been violent. How many is many, JD? How many is many? Most means more than half. Many doesn't mean anything. Here's a direct quote. If you make a 9-year-old girl cry because you walked into her church and harassed her, we're going to go after you with every single tool we have. That's called free speech.
If your kid cries because people are chanting, you got a bitch-ass kid.
JD, that's called free speech, okay? I'm allowed to tell 9-year-olds that they're worthless pieces of shit. Now,
if you're upset that protesters can go into a church and speak, but you're not upset that ICE agents can go to a church and drag people out, Who the fuck are you?
Personally wouldn't do that, but he's claiming that people are and that they're going to arrest them for using their First Amendment rights, I guess. A reporter says, hey, the whole stated purpose of this from the Trump administration is to make people feel more safe. And they are making it very clear to you that they do not feel more safe with people with body armor and assault weapons constantly patrolling their city. And he says, well, we had less crime in 2025 because we're enforcing immigration law. So definitely we should continue to do this.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but fuck it. I'm pretty tired of everybody else. I cheered out loud when I heard that an ICE agent got his fucking finger bit off.
Then he just brings up another hypothetical. He's like, let's say you're an ICE officer.
Carried it around in a goddamn jar. Good.
And you're going to arrest someone, but then state and local officials won't help you. And then he just says, that's what causes all the chaos. He says that this whole thing, this reaction is unique to Minneapolis. So good job, Minneapolis. Keep it up. And then says that there's definitely nothing political about what's happening at all. He repeats again that this is just a weird, unique reaction from this city. And finally, he says they don't want to use tactics that they openly and willfully do all the time, like pepper spray and rubber bullets and all of that. And says that,
by the way, they claim that ICE interactions in Minneapolis is a cover-up for the Somali fraud that Nick Shirley uncovered. But the state didn't put ICE in Minneapolis.
the nature of law enforcement is that people will make mistakes. Wow, Tempa Centers.
You know what would stop that cover-up? If ICE wasn't there.
Really glad he went to Minneapolis because he really turned down the temperature there by saying it's a bunch of far left agitators and we're doing a great job and the media is lying about it and everything is great and you just need to help and participate with us because if we don't get what we want, then we're just going to start going door to door and arresting people just because we feel like it. That totally turned down the temperature, JD. Good job. Sorry, James Bowman. I know you wouldn't change your name to make yourself feel more comfortable in your body. I watched James Bowman's press conference.
Fucking insane the way they lie and gaslight. I'm going to show you Bobino's press conference from yesterday. Watch how quickly he asks to take questions and then immediately runs from those questions. He claims that the guy was there to cause mass casualties or something like that and a massacre because he had a weapon with a magazine and a spare magazine. I carry a spare magazine. Then he's like, questions, and then immediately they're like, yeah, he didn't draw a weapon. He's like, okay, well, we're looking into that. And the next person asks the same thing, and he's like, no questions, we're done.
Talk about this shooting. Greg Bovino, he's going to talk about this shooting.
Patrol and Customs and Border Protection here in Minneapolis. Some of those brave men and women of Border Patrol and Department of Homeland Security law enforcement join me here today to show support for all federal law enforcement who have been under constant attack in Minneapolis for weeks now.
I couldn't even see being career law enforcement and supporting this shooting.
This morning was no different. At 9:05 a.m. Central Standard Time, as DHS law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted operation in Minneapolis against an illegal alien, Jose Huerta Chuma. You can see this illegal alien on the screen to my left and right. That is Jose.
No one cares. No one cares what they were there for, what they were doing, why they were there, who they arrested, what is charged. No one gives a fuck about that. This is all after that.
Huerta Chuma, whose criminal history includes domestic assault to intentionally inflict bodily harm, disorderly conduct, and driving without a valid license. During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a...
I'm sure you guys have seen the video, right? I don't want to keep showing it because it makes me mad. But imagine the video lining up with what this motherfucker's saying. In any way.
And driving without a valid license. During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
Now, that's technically true. Well, not the approached, but he did have, let's say, agents approached a man with a 9mm. That's technically true, but does anybody think that's a holstered, concealed weapon? That makes people believe that he was brandishing the weapon. In fact, people were claiming this. Oh, don't go waving your gun around at federal agents.
The agents
Oh, I'll show you the most disgusting photo they're fucking using. So they're trying to use this photo, which is a horrible photo. This is the photo that was lined up beside the Nazi guy. This is when he gets shot the first time. They're trying to use this photo to say that that's his gun. That's clearly not a gun. It's not his gun. It doesn't have custom slide. It doesn't have the sight. It doesn't have the scales, the handle scales. That's not his gun. 100% that's not his gun. That's his phone and whatever fucking device he has on the back of it. And fucking battery or some shit.
Attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted.
How can 7 ICE agents not cuff a man? You guys want to hear Asmongold flip-flop real quick? Hold on. I got it pulled up.
If you have a police department that's not accountable or a law enforcement agency that's not accountable, that basically is the Gestapo.
If you have police that are not held accountable, that's the Gestapo.
That is the secret police. That is the SS.
And he has the picture in his background is the agent carrying his gun and then the gun they reportedly found in the sea. I'll show you. Well, I don't know if I want to watch it and get fucking pissed off, but after he's dead and they're patting his body down, the agents are like, where's the gun? You said he had a gun. Where's the gun? And then someone points over to that agent that took it 20 minutes ago, and he's like, oh, he already got it? All right, so that was Asmongold. If you have these police officers that are running around without any oversight, right, any accountability, that's the Gestapo. Now, next clip.
Police. Anyone with a concealed carry knows you should always comply with police, announce your weapon, and de-escalate all potentially dangerous situations, at least in my state. The guy intentionally gets in the way and involved in an escalating situation.
Where was his chance to de-escalate? Was it when he was shoved from behind or when he was pepper sprayed at point blank right in his fucking face? Or was it when they shoved him over the woman he was trying to help?
Absolutely retarded behavior from a concealed carrier. I think you're totally right. I do. I think you're completely right. I think this is absolutely fucking retarded to do. And at the end of the day, if he had complied with the police, if he didn't have the gun with him, like, there is a much higher probability that he wouldn't have been shot. There is. Like, it's undeniable this is the case. And I feel like that nuance is constantly lost because you can easily...
You're opening the door now. Police all the time see things that they think is a gun that is not a gun. You've now opened the door now when they see a flashlight or the fucking butt end of a mag light or some shit like that, something they always think is a gun, and they scream gun, they can just execute you. And you'd be like, well, you shouldn't be carrying a flashlight. You shouldn't be carrying a gun-shaped object. You shouldn't have your phone in your hand like that.
Easily come to the conclusion that maybe the way that they shot him was wrong. And based off of everything that I've seen, I'm pretty certain that they fucked up.
Uh-oh.
I am. This seems pretty cut and dry that they fucked up. Now, I'm not, you know, we need to wait for the body cam, and that way we'll really know. But right now...
He speaks like he's mad at his fucking lips. They don't have body cam, you piece of shit. That's why we've been screaming.
Done. The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots. Medics on the scene immediately...
We hear a pop, a single pop, then a break. I cannot wrap my head around even a fucking piece of shit ICE agent with a man on the ground on all four, and you're standing like you're in a standing position, right? Pulling out a weapon and shooting the guy in the back. So I've got to think that the guy that I think fired the first shot, that he pulled his weapon when someone said gun, and then he had a negligent discharge. That's the pause where everybody's like, what the fuck? Somebody just shot. And then the other agent just fucking unloads on him. Even when he's fucking laying there still, motionless, hands underneath him, no gun, he just keeps shooting.
Delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene.
Hey, shouldn't dry your hair in that way.
The suspect also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
Does anybody see in any of the videos thinks that this guy showed up to do maximum damage? This is propaganda, right? They didn't find a manifesto. They didn't find a video he recorded saying, I'm going to go kill as many ICE agents as I can, right? Does anybody watching the video and knowing what we know about this guy thinks he wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement?
Then, about 200 rioters arrived at the scene and began to obstruct and assault.
No, you can see the guy with the gun while he wasn't trying to clear it. He wasn't doing anything. Doesn't even look like his fingers on the trigger. Even though SIGs have been known to go off on their own, there are people making that argument that maybe it just fired where the agent was holding it. His finger's clearly not on the trigger. But the SIGs go off when you drop them or when you bang them, not when you're just carrying them. They go off when they fall, when you hit them hard enough, when you hit the back of them hard enough, when you hit your own hand hard enough, not when you're just carrying it. I think that agent that's at his back that's standing had a negligent discharge and cost this man his life. They should both be in fucking trouble for it.
Law enforcement. Crowd control measures have been deployed for the safety.
Okay, here's a question. Could you imagine a video coming out of Iraq with a young man with a fucking AK slung to his back and someone throws him to the ground, someone else grabs the AK from him, and then a soldier backs up 10 feet and just starts fucking unloading into his head? Would anybody accept that and be like, well, that's war? I know 100,000% that I would have been court-martialed and put in prison for that.
Safety of the public and law enforcement. This situation is evolving and more information is forthcoming. The officer was highly trained and had been...
It seems like the pink coat lady, which is the lady that was on the sidewalk with him, not the one being assaulted, but said that like he seemed like he had a medical background. He was helping people. He was trying to keep people safe. He was directing traffic so the ICE agents didn't get hit because cars were trying to get around. He had stood up for them a couple times, like had stepped up and been like, hey, no, calm down, like trying to be like level-headed. And I think that's what he was trying to do when they were just fucking beating the shit out of that lady that was just standing there.
And serving as a Border Patrol agent for 8 years. The officer has extensive training as a range safety officer and less lethal officer.
Less lethal.
As mentioned, this is only the latest attack on law enforcement. Across the country, the men and women of DHS have been attacked, shot at, doxxed, had their family members threatened. And, as we have seen, more than 100 vehicles...
You can't keep telling us that these are happening because they're scared. Imagine any other fucking officer in the world. Let's say the last time he was on duty, he walked up to a car, the guy rolled in the window and shot him in the chest. Okay? And his fucking plate carrier caught it, right? His body armor caught it. The guy drove off and got away. Now, you're telling me the next time that cop pulls somebody over for speeding, he walks up, the person rolls down the window, and he unloads in there, you're going to be like, well, he was shot at before. Well, he was ran over by a vehicle before. Well, they've been doxxed, and, they've heard that people are mad at them, so the fuck out of here. That was the excuse with Renee Good, remember? That ICE agent was drugged by a car 7 months ago. So? Either learn how to fucking handle yourself or leave.
Last year against federal law enforcement. We will not allow violence against our law enforcement officers, and we need state and local help.
He acts like this big tough motherfucker until he gets 2 questions in a row.
In local law enforcement to help us coordinate to get violent criminals off the streets. Mayor Fry and Chief O'Hare just a few minutes ago did the opposite of that by omitting the fact that the suspect had a gun and magazines full of ammunition.
So even the people that are arguing, well, maybe those other agents didn't know he had been disarmed, right? The one agent didn't do a good job saying, I got the gun or I've got it, whatever. That's not the victim's problem, bro. That's a training issue. That's a being observant issue. That's a communication issue. That's a lot of issues, right? That's not the victim's issue.
In what looks like a situation, again, where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
Maximum damage. He says it twice. This guy showed up because he concealed carries and because he has a second magazine, which I always carry. That's what my holster's made for, a concealed carry and a second magazine. I can't show it on live stream. Because those 2 things, he wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
I want to reiterate what President Donald Trump, Secretary Kristi Noem, myself, Director Marcos Charles, and so many others have said time and again. If you obstruct a law enforcement officer or assault a law enforcement officer, you are
Or step between an officer and a lady he's beating up.
in violation of the law and will be arrested. Our law enforcement officers take an oath to protect the public. We go to work every day to protect our friends, our neighbors, and our fellow citizens.
Again, cops have no rights that you don't have, right? People may argue like they can carry here and do this, whatever. Okay, fine. They have no rights that you don't have. Now, some of theirs are better protected. Some of theirs are shielded. We got qualified immunity. We got a bunch of things going on here, right? But anything that a cop can do to you in a similar situation, in an interaction with somebody else, right? I should be able to do to them. Okay. So again, I get in a bar fight with an off-duty cop or anybody, another citizen. And at some point during the fight, their shirt comes up and I see they have a holstered weapon. I cannot then draw my weapon and shoot them. It's not how it works.
The fact of the matter is that the law does not enforce itself. It takes men and women who are willing to risk their lives to enforce it. The men and women of CBP and ICE, law enforcement, are highly trained professionals who love this country and do this work because they want to leave their kids and their grandkids a country that's safe and secure.
Here we go. Questions.
One question. First question, when did agents learn that he had a gun, and did he ever brandish that weapon at agents?
When did agents learn that he had a gun, and did he ever brandish that weapon at agents?
Allie, this situation, again, is evolving. This situation is...
The answer's no. He didn't brandish the weapon. He was on all fours, like a dog. When they stripped him of his weapon, I've been in situations. I guess what bothers me so much is this could be me, right? I'm not out at protests, but if I saw a lady screaming and a cop fucking shoving her, I would probably try to stop that, right? I always fucking carry. Always fucking carry. I've even been disarmed by a local police. Oh, I think it was a state trooper that said he just didn't feel comfortable talking to me while I had my firearm on me. Right? He'd pull me out of the car and shit. And I told him I had a firearm. He's like, well, I don't feel comfortable. I've had other cops say, you don't reach for yours, I won't reach for mine. Which is really, that's the one I expect, right? Tell them you have a firearm, you don't reach for yours, I won't reach for mine. What I don't expect is a cop to see a weapon, or what they think is a weapon, take the weapon, and then shoot me.
Under investigation, those facts will come to light. This particular incident is...
Imagine the Renee Good situation. All right, we all know she had a vehicle. Imagine that ICE agent drags her out of that vehicle. Okay? Disarms her. That was her weapon, right? Allegedly. Drags her out of that vehicle. Or turns off the vehicle and takes the keys. Or incapacitates the vehicle. And then comes around to the window and still shoots her through the driver's side window and says, I was afraid she was going to run me over.
Being investigated just like we investigate other similar incidents like we've done over the past several years. It's in the hands of professionals. Those facts will come to light.
All right, going on to the next question. So, did he have
They will not show my video to anybody. Thank you guys for the people who went over to Discord. I shared it in Discord. I didn't share it anywhere else. That video was up for almost 30 minutes and had 3 views, and 2 of them were mine. Like, they will not share that video fucking anywhere on TikTok.
gun, or was the gun moved from the scene? And
sorry, let me go back to the question.
Similar incidents like we've done over the past several years. It's in the hands of professionals. Those facts will...
They claim they're going to investigate it. Here's what I don't understand. If they're not trying to piss people off, devil's advocate, let's say they're not trying to get people out in the streets. They're not trying to rile people up. They're not trying to get fucking Insurrection Act or military or something on the streets. Let's say that they are lawfully good, okay? Then why not say we had an incident, there was a shooting, we support our officers or whatever, there'll be a full investigation to get to the bottom of this, we just don't have enough information. Same thing with Renee Good, right? Why not say, hey, there was a shooting, we're going to investigate it, we're going to get to the bottom of it, people will be held accountable, whoever that is, wherever the evidence leaves, we're working with state officials. Not This domestic terrorist showed up waving a gun around, and officers put him down like a dog he was. Like, what the fuck?
Will come to light.
All right, going on to the next question. So, did he have
Next question.
or was the gun moved from the scene?
Was there an additional gun? Was the gun removed from him?
And I watched the video from start to finish of that when he was wearing the red jacket, and it doesn't seem like he pulled the weapon at any point. So,
Okay, I watched the video from the woman in the red jacket. That's pink jacket lady that was on the same side of the street. There's one video from the donut shop. There's one video from the other side of the street that the victim was on. There's also videos from both ends of the road. Okay? So she's saying I watched the pink lady video, or I think she got a red jacket lady. And it doesn't look like he drew the firearm. It doesn't look like he had the firearm. It doesn't look like he brandished the firearm.
did the account come from the agents? Did they say he
Does this account come from the agents? When you say something like he approached ICE agents with a gun, no one's thinking a concealed gun, right? Because why would that, if the agents can't see it, they don't know it, why would that change the way they're acting, right? When you say that, people are thinking that you're brandishing a firearm or threatening with a firearm or at the low ready with a firearm, something. So she's like, well, is this coming from ICE agents' accounts or why are you saying that?
was the gun before, during, after? When does the gun come out?
Was that before, during, after? When does the gun come out?
Again, this situation's evolving. This is under investigation. Those facts will come to light, but let's take a look at the gun. You can see the gun here on the screen there, that individual.
And fuck Ryan McBeth, dude. Fuck Ryan McBeth. He's like, oh, this is a custom gun, so this guy doesn't carry every day. He went, this gun's heavier than a normal gun, but so he took his home defense gun and showed up at a protest. Bullshit, dude. People carry custom guns every goddamn day. I used to carry a custom fucking Kimber. I carried a more expensive gun than the car I drove most of the time.
Possessed. It appears to be a semi-automatic, high-capacity type, possibly a 6-hour 9mm.
All right, no more questions. All right, no more questions, sir.
Commander,
No more questions. No more questions. Commander, we're done. No more. They got 2 questions. Both of them were, we didn't see him draw a gun. There's video of this, right? No more questions. We're done. Commander, get out of here. We're done. No questions. That's it. Let's look at the gun. Who gives a fuck about looking at the gun?
Possessed.
Unless you want to look at the agent taking the gun from him. What's crazy is I would be killed even quicker. Guaranteed. Because I carry appendix. So there's a whole, it's a lot faster to draw. It's easier. There's a bunch of reasons to carry appendix. As long as you got good trigger discipline and you're not going to shoot yourself in the balls or the femoral artery or some shit. But any action, they're going to say, well, he was reaching for it because my hands are already to the front of my body. He carried in the least accessible spot, in the small of the back. Like, holy fuck. It's a pretty fucking definitive motion when someone reaches behind their back. In fact, movies use it and slow it down. It's been even ingrained in Hollywood that when someone does like this and reaches behind the back, they're going for a weapon.
Appears to be a semi-automatic, high-capacity type, possibly a 6-hour 9mm.
All right, no more questions. All right, no more questions, sir.
Commander,
All right, that was Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino saying that his agents, Border Patrol agents, fired their weapons in self-defense. Notably, he was asked twice when the suspect, if the man who was shot brandished his weapon, if they saw a gun. And
I do want to watch the Bash. What'd you guys say? Dana Bash and Bovino. I think someone shared it earlier to me. Here we go. 20-minute interview.
Here with me now is U.S. Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Greg Bovino.
Yeah, fuck Ryan McBeth. He's talking about not jumping to conclusions, and then he's going to say, because this gun is 8 more ounces heavier than the standard, SIG pistol that most people carry, he doesn't carry every day. That's what I'm going to say. This is a custom gun. He took his home he's saying it without saying it. This guy went looking for trouble, right? He went looking for a reason to pull his gun. He went with a gun. How the fuck would you know, dude? He has a slightly heavier gun. Maybe he carries and trains with it every goddamn day. You don't fucking know.
Thank you for being here. Sir, you are still...
And what's crazy is fucking the administration issued an anti-Iran statement today. An anti-Iran statement today about a soldier who was supposedly ordered to execute peaceful protesters. And he didn't, and now he's facing the death penalty. While we have literal soldiers executing peaceful protest. Like, it's insane, dude.
In Minneapolis, and I want to get to a lot of questions that we have that are unanswered. First and foremost is that Alex Preddy approached Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. I want to go back to one of the videos.
I can't be for sure, okay? I can't be for sure that he carried directly in the small of his back. He's pretty skinny and had pretty long arms. I can't do it. I can't get a draw like that. But it was definitely behind the hip. It wasn't in front of the hip. It wasn't on the hip. It wasn't appendix. It was definitely behind the hip. So it was either the 6 o'clock, the 7 o'clock, or the 5 o'clock, somewhere there. I guess being right-handed.
And I know you can see it there, and I want to ask.
You can tell because he's on all fours like a dog, right? He's literally, his hands are below him, and the agent's ripping at his ass. It's there somewhere.
You about what you're seeing, because multiple angles of this incident show him holding up a cell phone and recording it, not a gun. Did he at any point pull out his weapon?
Dana, good morning, and thanks for having me. The weapon, and we do know that the suspect did bring a weapon, a loaded 9mm high-capacity handgun, to a riot. We do know that. As far as what happened
to a riot,
with the video that you
a riot has to be declared. So no, he didn't bring it to a riot. He was at a protest.
you just showed, that's going to come to light through the investigation. That's being investigated, and those facts and those questions will be answered soon enough.
Okay, but the Homeland Security Secretary is not waiting for that investigation to take place before saying that Alex Preddy was, quote, brandishing a weapon. Let's go to video 7, because, of course, you know this far better than I. The definition of brandishing is waving or flourishing something, especially a weapon, as a threat or in anger and excitement. That's just a still photo of...
Yes, do not let them use these words. Brandishing has a meaning. It's not concealed carry. It's not a holstered gun. It could be a holstered gun. Let me take that back. Brandishing but if it was a holstered gun, it would be, hey, look at this. I'm not afraid to fucking blow you away or some shit, right?
What Alex Preddy appears to be holding, there is nothing that we have seen that showed him, as Secretary Noem said, brandishing a weapon. Have you, sir, seen something different to support what the Secretary said?
Dan, I think what we need to take a look at here is the situation in
Non-answer, 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 non-answer.
its totality. What happened leading up to this situation? The suspect decided to inject himself into a law.
Well, there was an ICE agent beating the fuck out of a woman.
Enforcement action. What's not being said here is the fact that Border Patrol agents and law enforcement were conducting a targeted law enforcement effort against a violent...
No one cares. No one cares. That doesn't matter. Let's say they were having tea at the fucking British restaurant. It doesn't matter.
Illegal alien that was nearby, and that suspect injected himself into that law enforcement situation with a weapon. And what happened between when that situation first came about and the shooting, that's going to be investigated, and we're going to get to the facts of that.
Well, you said yesterday that this looks like a situation where the individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. What evidence do you have that he wanted to massacre
None.
law enforcement? Because all the videos that we have, and we just have a still shot up now, but I do, control room, want to play one of the other videos. Let's play video number 1 again.
If he wanted to cause maximum damage and massacre law enforcement, he would have been shooting before they blinded him. Like, there's all kinds of fucking cover here. I'd have got across the fucking hood of this SUV and just fucking killed them all.
It doesn't look anything like he's trying
in a video game.
Law enforcement. In fact, he was filming, and then it looked like he was trying to help another individual there who was pushed down by law enforcement, and then they went after him.
In fact, I believe that the fantastic training that our law enforcement partners have, the fact that they're highly trained, prevented any specific shootings of law enforcement. So good job for our law enforcement.
Especially when he didn't have a gun. It'd be kind of impossible to have a shooting of law enforcement when they disarmed him, right?
In taking him down before he was able to do that. And again, Dana, let's look at why he was there in the first place. Was he simply walking by and just happened to walk into a law?
There's one agent that's clapping, another agent that's cheering. One of the agents says it's just like Call of Duty. Like, it's insane.
Stand in the middle of the road and then assault, delay, and obstruct.
They're hiring people that have fantasized about this their whole goddamn life. You can say the shooter had 8 years experience. There's no fucking way that those officers that are clapping and cheering and saying it's just like Call of Duty have any fucking experience.
Law enforcement, or was he there for a reason? Did he fall victim to that violent and heated rhetoric by Mayor Frey, Governor Walz? Look, Dana, they're trying to portray Border Patrol agents and ICE agents as Gestapo, Nazi, and many other words. Did this individual fall victim, as many others have?
Why do you keep dressing like it then? Like, if you don't want to be called Gestapo, what the fuck are you doing, dude? with your salutes and your trench coat and your fucking actions. Like, what are you doing?
Okay, I want to stay focused on this incident right now because what you were saying is that he went there to try to stop this law enforcement operation. All of the video that we have seen shows him documenting it with his cell phone, which is a lawful thing to do. And the only time he seemed to interact with law enforcement is when they went after him.
This is so easy. This is so easy to fucking handle, dude. Even if you're doing these targeted raids, show up and talk to people, right? At least present the look that you're there to protect. Say, hey, look, we got to do this arrest. We're gonna treat people humanely. We're gonna go through this. You guys are gonna stay safe. I'm gonna stay safe. We're gonna stay over here, right?
When he was trying to help
I've done this with an interpreter and a crowd of people that didn't understand what was going on, and they were just fucking mad.
Enforcement push down. So where do you have the evidence to show that he was trying to impede that law enforcement operation?
Sure, Dan, first he was there in the scene. He was in the scene actively impeding and assaulting.
Across the street. So now you can't be across the street.
Law enforcement to the
But that's not illegal. He wasn't impeding it. He was filming it, which is a legal thing to do in the United States of America.
Let's don't freeze frame adjudicate this now. He was there for a reason, and that reason was to impede.
You don't know what the reason was. He just as easily could have been walking by and said, oh shit, something's going on. I'm gonna make a TikTok.
Law enforcement to
What
the
evidence
point.
do you have of that?
And here's a good point, Dana.
None.
Back to that, de-escalation techniques were utilized during this action. Those de-escalation techniques, whether it was physically trying to remove them from that law enforcement scene, that active law enforcement scene in which law enforcement were going after.
They 100% went after him. 100% went after him.
A violent illegal alien, or the use of pepper spray, which is another de-escalation technique. Those techniques did not work. Officers always try to use the minimum amount of force necessary to either effect an arrest, which in this case was more than likely 18 U.S.C. 111, assault on a federal officer. Or
Where did he assault the federal officer in any of the video that you've seen? Because it looked to us from every angle, sir, that he was approached by them when he was helping another individual who was pushed down. What evidence do you have that he was assaulting any law enforcement?
Dana, we don't need a suspect's help in an active law enforcement scene.
When you say suspect, what is he suspected of?
That's an active law enforcement
Suspected of what? Suspected of helping someone up off the ground?
scene. He knew that was an active law enforcement scene, especially when the officers approached him, and it's very evident he did not need to be where he was.
So
and
when somebody
on his own to stay there.
So when somebody is pushed down and a person's instinct is to help that person, when somebody's pushed down by law enforcement, you're saying that you just stand back and let law enforcement do what they're doing? I mean, is that really human nature?
You know, Dana, every situation is different.
I guarantee you. Like, again, I carry every day. I got a spare magazine. I do all these things. And I guarantee you I would have tried to help or de-escalate or something in that situation. Seeing somebody shoved over that fucking snowbank and shit.
What our officers are faced with
no fucking way.
Are chaotic, very difficult and violent situations in which individuals, and this suspect is not the only one to bring.
So there's as close as he gets to them. And he's literally out on the road telling a car to come through.
A loaded weapon to a riot. The situations are chaotic and never changing.
Then he comes up and records that woman that's being chased around by ICE and being shoved. And
follow directions for law enforcement. Don't inject yourself. No.
There's the shove, right? She falls down. The ICE agent is backing up after he shoves the fuck out of her. He walks over
beforehand.
Try to help.
Situation.
With respect, it feels as though in some ways you're blaming the victim here.
The victims are the Border Patrol agents. I'm not blaming the Border Patrol agents. The victim are the Border Patrol agents. The suspect put himself in that situation. The victims are the Border Patrol agents there.
What are they victims of? What happened to them? A victim of what exactly?
I want to go back to the gun, sir, because I think this is really, really critical. You can see an agent, and I just want to go to, let's see here, video 5. You can see a screenshot of an agent in a green jacket approach Preddy, and then he appeared to take a gun away. When the agent took the gun away, which seems as though it was Preddy's gun, that happened before Preddy was shot. Why was an unarmed man shot multiple times by law enforcement, by your Border Patrol agents?
Dana, you don't know he was unarmed. I don't know he was unarmed. That's freeze.
There it is right there. See the cops, see the guy's hand on it? I'm almost positive he's carrying it at 6 o'clock. I guess that could be like a 5 o'clock, and maybe it's just shifted where they're fucking wrestling him and shit. But that's the agent jerking on the gun right there. Hold on, we'll zoom in. And that one cop bashing him in the face with the goddamn, at first it looked like a pistol, but I guess it was pepper spray, just bashing the fuck out of him. That's the agent drawing his gun right now. Fox News shared a completely different video. Fox News shared a video of like a 51-year-old man screaming, "You're going to kill me. That's what they want. They want to kill me in the street," and claimed it was Alex for some reason.
Frame adjudication of a crime scene.
Absolutely not. Abso-fucking-lutely not. In fact, towards the end of Iraq, like shutting down and closing down and shit, well, it wasn't the end. I guess handing over and a troop withdrawal and stuff like this, and we were using Iraqi partners more. There was a group of people that were called, let me get this right. They called themselves the Sons of Iraq. They were known as Al-Sawa, the Awakening, were a coalition of Al-Anbar governance in Iraq between Sunni tribal leaders as well as former Saddam-era Iraqi military officers that united in 2005 to maintain stability in their communities. So there was a group that we were instructed called, so sometimes when you're in Iraq, you see somebody with a gun, you just fucking get to shoot, right? They're combatants, okay? Later on, when we're in a situation like you're in an American fucking town, the Sons of Iraq were allowed to carry. They literally told us, like, you're going to see these guys. They look like the enemy. They look like everybody else over here. They got AKs. They got fucking rocket launchers. They got shit. We're partnering with them. We're handing over. We're doing this. They'll be plain clothes. They're not in military uniform. They're not in law enforcement uniforms. They're in plain clothes. They're like a goddamn neighborhood watch, and you can't just fuck these people up, right? There's no way I would get away with disarming somebody and then shooting them. Or someone else disarming somebody and then me shooting them. There's no fucking way. 100% I'd be in prison right now. Unless Trump went on one of his pardon rants.
Via a photo. That's why we have investigators. That's why we have an investigation that is going to answer those questions. How many shots were fired? Who fired shots? Where was the guns? Where were the guns located? All those questions are going to be answered.
I think you can see the screen.
That's him. I don't know if you can see this. Watch. See the agent pulling. Hold on. Let me get back to where he's pulling. All right, so there's the agent's hand on my mouse cursor, right? There's the firearm. He pulls, he jerks 2 or 3 times. It looks like he's got a handful of his belt, which isn't working. He pulls. This guy already draws. This is going to be the guy that shoots him in the back. Or negligent discharge, 1 or 2. Pulls. It's clear now. He pulled it from him. He's turning. This guy has the greatest view of the gun being taken away. I can't imagine, like, it is, unless this guy's like a literal fucking psychopath. Like, I don't understand why this guy's our first shot. Nobody can see better than him. Even the agent that pulled the gun can't see as well as this guy can that the gun's no longer there. Anyways, the gun's clear, and here's where he pulls it out. This guy makes it 2 steps. This guy fires. I'm pretty sure. Moving around him. That's where they stop the video, but that's where the shot goes off. This guy fires. Everybody backpedals like hell, and they just unload. Like, nobody could see that better. I don't understand unless this guy's just a fucking psychopath. I have to think like, oh, well, he drew his gun because he saw a gun. He sees the gun leave, but you're not going to be changing weapons and shit. You already got your gun out, right? He's not going to like fucking holster it within 0.5 seconds, blah, blah, blah. And he's moving around to the side, and it's a negligent discharge. That's the only thing. I can't see this guy just shooting that guy in the back unless he's a fucking psychopath. I don't understand.
Of a crime scene via a photo. That's why we have.
And I think this guy right here makes the first shot. There are people saying that it was the agent that pulled the victim's gun, and the victim's gun was what the first shot. I don't think so. I think it was this guy. Legend put some videos together that kind of convinced me it was this guy. I couldn't get to my computer yesterday to like zoom in on shit or sync shit up. She put something together. I think it was this guy. Then these officers backpedal, and one of these towards his head is the one that just mag dumps.
Investigation that is going to answer those questions. How many shots were fired? Who fired shots? Where was the guns? Where were the guns located? All those questions are going to be answered
I think you can see the screen.
in the investigation. We're not going to adjudicate that here on TV.
Right there's when he shoots. Dead in the back.
In one freeze frame there.
Okay, it's not a freeze frame. We're showing a video of one of your agents taking the gun away, and that happened before Freddie was shot.
We don't know that agent was taking any gun away. That could have been the agent's gun. We don't know that. The fact
could have been the agent's gun in the victim's pants in his holster. Yes, he's on all fours almost the entire time. I mean, until he's shot, he's on all fours.
Are going to come to light.
So you're disputing the video. That's what happened.
That's why we investigate.
Well, with respect, you say that's why we investigate, but you're also drawing other conclusions that.
Literally on his elbows. Like, there is no argument that he reached for the gun. It just doesn't exist.
Sort of fly in the face of waiting for an investigation. I just want to also go back to what I was asking about with regard to what Secretary Noem said, that he was brandishing a gun.
Or saying the ICE agents are the victims here. I'm not blaming the victims. The ICE agents are the victims. Does that scream like, hey, we're going to have an investigation, figure this out?
At any point, do you have any evidence that, yes, he had a gun on his person? Was he brandishing it? Was he a threat because he had a gun in his hand that put law enforcement in danger?
we heard the law enforcement officer say gun, gun, gun. So at some point, they knew there was a gun. So again, that is
Knowing there's a gun and someone brandishing, pointing, waving around, threatening with a gun is very different.
going to be part of that investigation as to what was happening on the ground there between those victims, the Border Patrol agent victims, and the...
I still have a truck with a gun rack in the back of it. Imagine a cop pulling me over and seeing a gun rack in the back and just fucking unloading.
Both the police chief in Minneapolis, O'Hara, and Governor Walz say Preddy was legally licensed to carry a concealed weapon. So are you saying it's not okay for him to exercise his Second Amendment right, not to mention his First Amendment right to be there in the first place, but his Second Amendment right to carry a gun? And if you do, you can be shot by federal law enforcement?
No, I didn't say that, Dana. I never said that. What I'm saying is we respect...
But that's the case you're making. That's 100% the case you're making. You're making a case and excuses that if you have a legally carried gun and it's holstered and an agent sees it, that's enough to start shooting. Might want to tell some of these off-duty cops that are legally allowed to carry fucking everywhere.
Second Amendment right, but those rights don't count when you riot and assault, delay, obstruct, and impede law enforcement.
Those rights do still count when you riot. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Officers, and most especially when you mean to do that beforehand.
How do you know that?
When you mean to do that beforehand, when you show up at the crime scene, don't leave the crime scene, and you're armed, then you've got the decision-making process for that individual doesn't seem to be very good. Now, back to the Second Amendment. What you're saying about the Second Amendment is peacefully protesting with firearms. Absolutely, I've done that myself. And
of course you have. Every fucking maggot has. I had to go through and hold on, go to my TikTok. I downloaded a bunch of pictures. I put them in a video. Hold on. I made a collage of these fucking... Look. Every maggot protest. Covered with firearms every fucking where. Not one person said, hey, don't let the feds see you with that gun because that's a pretext to just start shooting.
fully support that, but not when you perpetrate violence, obstruct, delay, or obfuscate Border Patrol in the performance of their duties in an
There's
active
no
crime
evidence that
scene.
he was perpetrating violence. And there's no evidence, unless you have it, and we'd love to see it if there is, that he was intending to massacre law enforcement, other than the fact that he was there and he had a gun lawfully.
He meant to be there beforehand. Again, Dana, he came there beforehand
How do you know
for
that?
a reason.
How do you know?
He meant to be there beforehand. Sure. Let's say he planned it out on his calendar and he said, on this day, I'm going to go and check out what ICE is doing. Who cares?
Because he was there.
But all he was doing was filming and
very
documenting
evident.
it, which is legal. He was carrying a gun, which in Minneapolis
I didn't
is
say it
illegal.
wasn't. And I didn't say it wasn't legal.
So then what did he do that was illegal?
Assault federal law enforcement when he does that. That's an active
He did not assault federal law enforcement. You still got to prove that.
law enforcement crime
Where do you
scene
see in the video that he was
decided to enter
assaulting?
into.
Where do you
People are saying like, well, he committed a felony with a firearm, and that's already blah, blah, blah. No, he didn't.
see in the video that he was assaulting law enforcement? Because from everything we have seen, law enforcement was assaulting him when he was there trying to help another individual.
Dana, law enforcement doesn't assault anyone. Follow directions of law enforcement. Follow directions of law enforcement in an active crime scene. It's very evident he didn't want to do that. Very evident that the other individuals didn't want to do that. And
How quickly before they turn on this argument when someone else is in power and someone else gets shot and someone else and I can't believe they shot him. His weapon was holstered.
you know, it's too bad the consequences had to be paid because he injected himself into that crime scene. I can't say.
I flipped on fucking Shelly Belly today. Said, listen here, you dumb cunt. I don't know why they think their trump card is Lake and Raleigh. But across the board, people can say murder's bad. That was a guy who was here illegally, who was arrested, who was charged, who went to prison. Not a federal agent. I don't know why they think that's their trump card. She shouldn't have been murdered by anyone. He shouldn't have been murdered by anyone. I was like, you stupid fucking cunt. Murder's bad no matter what. She didn't respond.
Say that enough. He made the decision to go there. We didn't make the decision to talk to him. We didn't even know that individual was in existence until he came into that crime
I want
scene.
to go back to video number one because you keep saying that he injected himself into the crime scene. He was a guy on a street filming an operation. He was far away. He wasn't on the crime scene. And what I want you to see again is that law enforcement appears by the video.
I don't even know where the crime scene is. Hold on. It's obviously over here. So they're loading somebody into a car. So it's obviously way the fuck over here. He's not there. This woman was. The woman that got shoved, she was like the closest one, probably asking. They always go up and say, what's your name? Say it on the video so somebody can find you and know you're arrested, whatever. He's nowhere near that. And it looks like the arrest has already been made, right? They're loading somebody in a car. or talking to somebody in the car. It looks like he's already loaded. This is an agent. This is an agent. This is the protester who gets shoved later.
We have to be approaching him and the person who's next to him, not the other way around. And so what I want to know is, what evidence do you have that he went after law enforcement?
Sure. The fact
Did you see how violently he was directing traffic?
standing in the middle of the road, there was interaction between him, the bystanders, and law enforcement, and again, follow directions of law enforcement. He doesn't need to be in the middle of a crime scene. Dan, I don't think you would want to be in the middle of a crime scene, or you would want civilians in the middle of a crime scene injecting themselves into something that is none of their business at all.
Can you also just answer the question about the gun? Because, again, do you have any evidence that he was brandishing his weapon? Did he ever have his hand on the weapon?
That's what your side said, that he brandished a weapon. That was from you.
Yeah, again, the officers on the ground, in that melee, we hear gun, gun, gun. So that gun, at some point,
that's not brandishing.
Became visible to officers.
But could it have been because they had him on the ground and maybe his shirt came up and they saw that it was on him? That doesn't mean that he was.
That is why we have.
That's not brandishing. You can't say brandishing.
Investigation.
Fine.
That's what we are investigating. You're not going to know that now, and I'm not going to know that.
I think an investigation is great, but the Homeland Security Secretary said he was brandishing a weapon. Do you have evidence that we haven't seen that he was brandishing a weapon? He
brought a semi-automatic weapon to a riot, assaulted federal officers, and at some point they saw that weapon. So
this is not a riot.
Just resubscribed.
It's a riot with 2 goddamn people.
Hello, loves.
I'm sorry, 3
Just
people.
Checking in before I wash dishes. I've missed you all. Waving hand emoji, red heart emoji, kissing face.
Oh my
emoji.
God. Emoji up them fucking dishes.
I do believe the secretary.
You guys ever have issues with your dishwasher like that? I think she's out of warranty, or I would.
Is 100% spot on in what she said. Why would you bring a weapon and assault a federal officer if you did not have intent to harm?
Well, you haven't proved that he was there for a reason, that he assaulted that he was in the crime scene, that he assaulted anybody, that he did any. You haven't proved any of that. Why would you show up with a ticking time bomb with 6 seconds on the clock and you wrote "fuck ICE" on the side of it? I'm gonna shove this up an ICE agent's ass, and then show up and do all that. Well, no one did that. But why would you? Why would you?
Or delay or obstruct that federal officer with a weapon.
You keep saying that he assaulted.
Delay, obstruct, assault. None of those things. He didn't do any of those things.
Officer, but again, we have not seen evidence that happened. It looked like he was on the defense, and again, he had a gun legally. It sort of feels like we're in the upside down, where we have law enforcement and conservatives who are very pro Second Amendment saying the problem was that he had a gun legally.
My dishwasher has this weird. It's making this fucking weird like noise or something every time that I fucking try to use it. It's like, that's the wrong hole. It's fucked up. I don't know if I need to send it back into Maytag or I don't know. I try to have somebody come out and look at it. They're not interested. So they can't get parts for it.
No, the problem is, as I said several times now, is he injected himself. He put himself where he did not need to be. He put himself in and put law enforcement officers in jeopardy through his actions. These were his actions, not law enforcement officers' actions. We had to react to an individual that came.
We had ice. We had ice, but then the rain kind of cut it out today. And then it's supposed to get super cold, not till like 3 o'clock in the morning. I guess the warm front's moving out, and it's supposed to freeze again. They already canceled school tomorrow.
There for a specific reason. And again, what that reason is, we're going to find more out about that in the coming days.
I don't know what the deal is with the wrong hole. Is that like for the pods or something? And I'm using liquid? I don't know.
Interested to see what his reason for being there while Border Patrol agents were arresting a violent criminal, illegal alien doing their lawful, ethical, and moral duties in Minneapolis. That's the question.
Well, but the question is also, why is an American citizen now dead for the second time who was there to document in this case, and clearly to be there as a bystander, which is his First Amendment right.
He wasn't there to clearly document it. Don't socially engineer the topic, Dana. He was not there to document. He came there for a reason.
That's exactly right.
Confiscated and delay officers there on the scene. That's pretty evident to me.
I want to ask you about your agents. You said that this was a highly trained agent who had been serving on Border Patrol for 8 years. What was he trained for? Because these are your Border Patrol agents, and they're now in the interior of the country, in American cities. Was he trained in urban policing?
Yes, all of our Border Patrol agents are trained in for all types of environments, including urban policing. This particular Border Patrol agent had 8 years with some specific skill sets there with both firearms and less lethal munitions. Also, let's take a look at the training and the environments that Border Patrol agents operate in. We operate in places like San Diego, California, Tucson, Arizona, New Orleans. All those have Border Patrol sectors. Detroit, Michigan. We've got Border Patrol sectors in Buffalo. So this myth, and I saw this just last night on CNN, this myth that Border Patrol agents don't work in urban areas is just that. It's a myth. We're well adept at...
Let's say best case scenario, the agent thought he still had the gun. The agent thought he drew the gun. The agent thought that he fired the gun. And the agent unloaded on him. That's still a bad shoot, right? A cop can't say, oh, I thought he had a gun pointed at me out his window and shoot you in your fucking car, right? I heard the word gun, and then I thought he had the gun, and then I thought I heard it. This is as bad as the fucking Acorn cop.
at urban areas, conducting that Title 8 immigration enforcement wherever we go. It doesn't matter if it's a desert or an urban environment. We're very well adept at doing that.
Is the agent or agents, is it your understanding that more than one agent fired a weapon at Alex Preddy?
Again, that's going to be part of the investigation. I'm not going to speculate on how many shots or who
I think it was at least 2.
shot
Okay.
or that type of thing because I don't know.
Are the agents who were involved still on the job?
Yes, they're these Border Patrol agents are.
This is my fault. Earlier I put that usually they don't do this, but at least they put them on administrative leave. It seems like they didn't put them on administrative leave. They put them on an administrative job, which is more than what they usually fucking do, right?
Going to more than likely be on administrative duty, but they were Border Patrol agents.
What does that mean? So they'll be off the streets for a bit?
In Minneapolis they will, but only in Minneapolis here. They'll be at a different location.
Okay. And before I let you go, I just want to button up one point that you were making about what Alex Preddy was doing there. Do you accept that it is the law that an individual has a right to film what law enforcement is doing?
I believe that all citizens of the United States have those First and Fourth Amendment rights as long as they do so peacefully and don't delay, obstruct, or assault anyone in doing that. And that's the issue here because he was not peaceful.
It's crazy that we have all these angles, and all she's saying is, can you show me where he delayed or obstructed or assaulted or brandished? And he's like, that's for the investigation. So no, you're just winging those?
Doing anything.
All right. And just for the record, and we've seen this video multiple times from multiple angles.
There were so many people in the crossfire. We typically don't get into a lot of crossfire because police aren't big on it, but in the military, there was so much crossfire, right? He's literally shooting at a guy that there's an agent backpedaling right there, and bullets fucking skip all the goddamn time.
There's no evidence that he was doing anything other than being peaceful until the altercation began. Again, I look forward to seeing the other evidence in the investigation that you have because we do want to get to the bottom of this and do want to get all of the facts as they actually happen. Chief Bovino, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
That's what I'm talking about, crossfire.
Thank you, Dana.
I mean, there's sometimes you can't avoid it, right? Like, it's like hey, this guy pointed a gun at me, blah, 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 and there was a guy behind him. But, yeah, you would typically not put yourself in a situation where there's going to be an opportunity for crossfire, hopefully. And know your firing sectors, what you got covered, what they got covered, what's going on. It's amazing to me that no one is fucking talking about 7 ICE agents couldn't handcuff a guy. It wasn't like there were 5 guys. It wasn't like there was just 2 cops and he's beating the shit. 7 ICE agents. The guys on all fours, 7 ICE agents couldn't handcuff a guy. What were they trying to do if not handcuff? Like, what the fuck? What was going on? Pepper sprayed, couldn't see. They were beating the fuck out of his face. 7 ICE agents. I saw that. I want to see what the Legal Eagle said.
I know all of us have.
Seems like a sad video. It says, the execution of Alex Preddy broke me. There's also a video going around that's really sad. I don't even want to talk about it, but it's basically him at the VA reading his last rites.
Seen the videos
to somebody.
What is basically
a veteran that passed away
of Alex Preddy. I've seen it from.
I heard my voice crack just talking about it. I don't want to talk about it, but that video does exist.
More angles and more times than I care to repeat. I'm not going to give an in-depth frame-by-frame analysis. You don't need a lawyer to tell you what you can see with your own eyes, which is that it was an inexcusable state-sanctioned murder. There is no excuse.
They always do that. It's not like something above and beyond, but it was a room full of women. They probably picked him. Maybe he's the best reader. Maybe they want a man's voice or whatever. But he's standing like at the at like what the headboard would be in a medical bed. They've got the person draped in the flag, and he's reading off the thing that they read.
Is no justification, and it is the latest in what is probably a long line. This one happens to have been videotaped, thankfully, by many brave bystanders. As you can tell, I'm not in my studio. I was on a plane yesterday.
Oh, I left to hold on. Let's do this. I've been so mad. I had to stop looking at Facebook, legit. But I did see a Preston Stewart video that popped up. And I left a comment that ought to get all the fucking likes, that everybody should be leaving a comment. Listen to this video.
So the U.S. State Department just said that an Iranian soldier has been sentenced to death for refusing to open fire on the protesters. They say Javed Khalez, a young Iranian soldier, has been sentenced to death for refusing to shoot innocent protesters. His refusal was not only justified, but it was the only moral choice. And this was published on the State Department website in Persian. They say the duty of soldiers is to protect the citizens of their country, and Javed did exactly that.
So we're mad about Iran threatening to shoot a soldier who wouldn't shoot peaceful protesters, but have absolute immunity for our agents running around shooting peaceful protesters. All right.
Reprehensible and inhumane that the Islamic Republic punishes those who refuse to aim their weapons at the people in their own streets, people who are someone's mother, father, brother, and sister. They say no government should...
Right there. People who are someone's mother, brother, father, and sister. That was the U.S. statement. How about people that are some veteran's ICU nurse? You stupid, stupid motherfuckers.
Of their country, and Java did exactly that. It is reprehensible and inhumane that the Islamic Republic punishes those who refuse to aim their weapons at the people in their own streets, people who are someone's mother, father, brother, and sister.
People that are some veteran's ICU nurse. God damn.
Oh, God, it's cold out here. It's 0 degrees, which is still 10 degrees warmer than it is in Minneapolis right now. But in some sense, I do this for a living. I analyze the videos that are out there and think about things from a legal perspective. And I saw the first video when it came out. It was pretty clear. But, with any video taken from across the street, there's some ambiguity. And I think the second video came out. In the second video, you can hear that Alex Petty's last words were, "Are you okay?" Which he said to the woman that was next to him, who had been pushed down by the ICE or CBP officer who was acting unhinged, where Alex Petty just has his phone out and his left arm is free. I think those were his last words, and I think those were his last acts, was trying to help the woman that was pushed down by the man in the green sweatshirt, who I think eventually was the first agent who shot him. And like I said, I'm not going to go frame by frame, but to my eyes, the last thing that Alex Petty did was to help others. And look, my legal analysis doesn't change when the victim is, a bank robber or a saint. Everyone deserves the same rights. And it doesn't justify less the actions of what happened, but it does heighten the loss of what happened and the people whose rights are being taken away and their lives are being taken away. So look, I'm going to try and gather some thoughts, which I'm only going to do because I think a lot of people are, thinking the same thing. Whether you're a lawyer or a layperson, I think we're all absolutely enraged, not only by the loss of Alex Petty, but Renee Good and everyone else who has been pushed aside and has been caught in this web of what is clearly illegal action from our federal government. Like I said, it doesn't change the legal analysis, but it does say something that Alex Petty and Renee Good before him seem to be the best of us. And there's a reason why they were gunned down. It's because they put themselves out there. And by God, that's commendable. And we need
and in this fucking cold and shit, people are still out there. People are still marching. People are still standing up. They always talk about paid agitators or fucking unemployed. Like I have a job too. These people obviously have jobs. These people obviously employed. Like, get the fuck out of here. In this cold weather, still standing up like this.
We need to continue to stand up because they did too. And look, you don't need to be a lawyer to know that their shootings were not justified. But I think we need to take a step back too to recognize that, ICE and CBP shouldn't have been there in the first place. They have no right and no duty to do crowd control, to be on the front lines using weapons against protesters. These people should not be armed. We've sort of grown inured to it, but they are not enforcing criminal law. Even when they're enforcing immigration laws, which they are not right now, it is state-sponsored protest control of people exercising their First Amendment rights. At best, they're enforcing regulatory and civil laws. And there's no reason they should have firearms in the first place. I don't even think should have less lethals like pepper balls, and they shouldn't be using tear gas and pepper spray and bear spray on protesters. That's insane. It would be as if we gave every postal worker and every person who delivers the mail, an AR-15. They don't need it to complete their duties, and it's insane that they have been armed and are wearing flak jackets and are obviously wearing masks for no other reason than to obscure their identity and prevent accountability. Obviously, the shootings are unjustified, but the entire situation that recently Alex Petty unfortunately found himself in, and the woman next to him, they should not have been pushed aside by these putative federal officers for exercising their First Amendment rights. They should not have been restrained. They should not have been pepper sprayed while they were restrained. And of course, they should not have been shot and murdered while they were prone and restrained. None of that. The entire situation should not have happened. 3,000 ICE and CBP officers should not have been deployed to Minneapolis in the first place. I will echo what some legal commentators have said. This is basically stochastic terrorism. If you send 3,000 untrained psychopaths with guns into a place where people are angry.
I'm not sure. I've been lumping them all together, to be honest with you, Bug Girl. That's probably not a great practice, but I've been calling them all ICE.
Where they are not effectuating the law. You don't know who's going to die, but you know that people are going to die. And I think that President Trump and I think that Stephen Miller have blood on their hands because this is what they wanted. It's honestly incredible that the people of Minneapolis and Minnesota have shown as much restraint as they have, and that they have not taken the bait and they have not responded to violence with violence. And that's incredible. And it deserves commendation, not the least of which because they're not going to be the last. It's going to come to other cities, predominantly blue and majority Democratic cities, because what ICE and CBP are doing is a terror campaign. It is a pretext that they are effectuating anything related to immigration at this point. And also, I will point out that there are a lot of people doing a lot of good. There are a lot of lawyers working overtime. Right after this happened, lawyers who had already received a temporary restraining order saying that ICE could not employ unconstitutional methods to restrain and punish all of the protesters, filed a emergency motion with the Court of Appeals to lift the administrative stay that was put in place, which is a thing that often happens. And it's insane that they would need a TRO in the first place to restrain these people en masse from conducting unconstitutional raids and unconstitutional methods. But the declarations from people who were on the scene and saw Alex Petty shot with their own eyes, it's crazy that lawyers would respond within a few hours and get that in front of a judge. It's also, there was some parallel litigation from the Minnesota Bureau in charge of the investigation that was stymied by ICE, which is another thing for another day. Within a few hours, they had a motion in front of a judge seeking a temporary restraining order to prevent ICE from destroying evidence because they already mucked up the crime scene. The declarations and affidavits from people in support of that are also incredible. And another incredible thing that is within 2 hours, a Trump-appointed judge granted the TRO. And these are not perfect mechanisms. It's something that in the past has helped to prevent ICE from destroying evidence, which I think they did in the case of Jonathan Ross when they took all of the stuff out of his house and put it God knows where. It probably goes without saying, but it's unfortunate and it's crazy that we cannot trust federal officers in the first place, but we also cannot trust them to investigate. There are also things that Congress can and should do immediately. Obviously, they should not fund ICE in the future, but that's the table stakes. We need to have serious curtailment of the immunity that exists. Federal officers do not have absolute immunity, but they do have strong immunity, and it is incredibly difficult to sue the federal government when you have had your constitutional rights deprived. Obviously, there's qualified immunity on a state level when state actors do that. It would be unbelievably easy for Congress to amend the current laws to provide a right of action for people to be able to sue, to remove qualified immunity unnecessarily, and to prevent all this stuff in the future, because the current framework for immunity for people who commit heinous crimes like these, I think it's untenable and it's disgusting. And then, of course, the people who are responsible.
I'm not ignoring this video. I can't talk about this video. I'm gonna get upset.
This at the very top need to be impeached. This is an impeachable offense. Like I said, I truly believe that this is, or some version of this is exactly what Donald Trump and Stephen Miller wanted. And in some sense, they have gotten what they wanted, and now it's time for them to be removed from office because they are absolutely unfit from top to bottom. It needs to be removed root and stem. And if you thought it couldn't get any more craven than it is, within hours of Alex Petty shooting, Pam Bondi sent a letter to Governor Tim Walz saying that if they would turn over voter information, then they would withdraw ICE from Minneapolis. So if you want a confession that this was never about immigration, and that on some level this is about winning the next election, and that if you thought that these people couldn't get any more craven, they can, and they will.
They're terrified of midterms.
And they
100%.
I'm flabbergasted from everything that's happened. The thing that I keep coming back to is how incredible the people who are resisting are doing in the face of such adversity, and how they are rising to the occasion. I believe Attorney General Bondi said that this country was formed for respect for law enforcement. I actually think that could not be further from the truth. This country was formed by resisting and rebelling against tyranny, and
especially Republicans. Republicans are all that. You could obviously it's just posturing, but they're like we there's a separation, and we do this, and we control the purse strings, and we appoint these people, and we do this, and they're all about that when anybody else is president. When Trump's president, they're like, well, he's going about it, I guess.
That tradition is what I think people point to when they say that we engage in American activity. And we should continue to do so. I know people want to do something, and our options are limited. One thing that you can do that was recommended to me by commentator Will Stansel, who is on the ground in Minneapolis, is to donate to the Lawyers Guild of Minnesota, the ACLU of Minnesota, or Minarca of Minnesota. They are on the ground providing legal relief to the people who have been caught up in this terrible web, and are helping out the people who...
Even the guy's family come out and it's like Trump administration's fucking lying about him. That's not him. It's not what he's doing. He wasn't coming there to attack anybody.
Have been victimized by this reign of terror. So I'll leave some links in the description for that. Yesterday was a really, really bad day, but there are some glimmers of hope, and it shows that they'll come for the best of us, but that we can fight back.
All right, I got 2 more videos that MAGA's trying to use. So first, this one. This is one theory that they claim the officer who took the victim's weapon. There are people, I don't see it. I think we would see some type of report from this weapon. It's at normal speed. They're claiming that this is the weapon that went off and the reason that everybody else shot. I don't see it. I do see the guy jump. We have to remember that the sound and the video are not going to be perfectly synced up. Okay? So here we go. I don't think that's a shot. I think that's just an artifact in the video. I could be wrong, though. I think the guy in the back, the one that shot him in the back, is the original one who pushed him, the one in green, the one that's behind him, the one that's standing right there when this weapon's removed. I think that's a video artifact. That's legs and something, blah, blah, blah. But I could be wrong. And then this one. This one fucking pissed me off. just use some common sense when you see this one, okay? Let's think about it for just 2 goddamn seconds. I want to pull up. Hold on. Okay, there it is. No? Well, I got it right here. Fuck. I'll just pull it over here. All right, so it says freeze the video at 11 seconds. You can see he drew the weapon. All right, so this is Alex here. This is the agent. $11 seconds. Let's give him the greatest benefit here. 11 seconds. That's his hand, an open palm. They're claiming now this is him drawing the firearm. Now, okay, let's listen for just a second. This video is minutes before the altercation and the shooting. So your claim is he drew the weapon here, pointed at ICE agents, reholstered it, and 3 or 4 minutes later, there's a second altercation where they shoot him? I would say put the tampon in your mouth so we don't have to listen to you, but what are you going to do with Trump's dick? They're claiming this is him. They're claiming this is the gun in his hand. It's literally his open hand and a thumb. Like, what the fuck? They're like, watch his left hand. It says, pause the video at 11 seconds and you can clearly see the victim's left hand. Watch carefully. Look at his left hand. You can clearly see him raising his gun. 100% justified shooting. Share this to shut up the lefts. I hate this bitch, by the way. What's her name? Mia Joy. If you find this video, these people drive through and go on about their day. This is minutes before, probably less than 5 minutes, more than 2 minutes before the interaction even happens. So to believe this, you'd have to believe that he drew his weapon, pointed at ICE agents. They just said, hey, don't do that. He put it back in his holster, went on about their business. Then when he gets between a lady that's being shoved and an ICE agent several minutes later, then they're like, I remember he drew a gun on us. Yeah, these guys drive by. Clearly, I hate this bitch, Mia Joy or whatever her name is. God, I hate her so fucking much. There's also still retards running around claiming that snow doesn't burn because they don't know what sublimation is. This post says, the snow isn't acting normal. Watch closely. I recorded this video because it caught my attention. The snow that is behaving differently than what most of us are used to seeing. I'm not here to jump to conclusions. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I am here to show you what I'm seeing and ask a simple question. Why does it look different than normal snow? That's it. Sometimes the most important thing you can do is slow down and observe. Don't be dumb. Not argue, not assume, not let someone else tell you what you're saying. Just look, ask questions, think for yourself. This is the manufactured weather bullshit. They did it last time they had ice storm in Texas because Texas people don't understand sun. Sublimation is a process of a solid skipping a state. It does not become liquid and it goes straight to gas. In fact, when sublimation is going on, you can produce what looks like burnt snow, like it'll blacken. And it's ultimately because you're heating it so quickly. If you would heat it with something slower, instead of this fucking torch, it would just melt. You're heating it fast enough to skip a state.
All right, get right over here, son.
I'll show them what we did right there. Look what we did.
We tried to heat the top up to melt the ice off the top of our garage area right here. We're going to see if we can't melt this snow, because nothing's coming off. We're just going to use.
A lot of times it also won't look like it's burning because it's packed full of. It's a real heavy wet snow.
Plain old gas first.
that snow is going straight from snow to a gas state, and it'll blacken. It'll look like it's burning. It'll look like whatever. It's not weather manipulation. Fucking retards.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Put some oxygen to it like you would.
The faster you heat it, the worse it's going to appear. They do vote. And Google will tell you this. Like if you Google snow won't melt, it says snow that seems not to melt, especially when heated, is usually real snow undergoing sublimation, solid to gas, or absorbing the melted water back inside. It's not fake, but truly persistent snow exists in glaciers, snowfields, and polar ice caps, which are long-term accumulations of compressed snow turning into ice. Far from melting easily. Fake, non-melting snow products also exist for crafts and are made from materials like cornstarch, shaving cream, and polymers. This video explains sublimation. And it shows everybody freaking out about it before when all this happened in Texas. They were bringing it in their house saying, oh my God, it won't melt. Greg Bovino looks like he was picked on, and he's taking it out on the world.
That's crazy. I mean, it's melting in now.
Yes, it's melting. So the reason he got so much black out of it was because he had too much fuel and not enough oxidizer. You can blacken anything with a torch. Watch how quickly it melts.
Crazy. I mean, it's melting in now.
Oh,
there it is.
Yeah, that's melting, but that's not right.
Enormous amount of
Oh my goodness. It still turned to water. What else turns to water, you fucking... If it's not snow, what else turns to water?
To melt this snow. And even then, it's having problems.
Yeah.
Is it, though? Or is this exactly what we'd expect?
Issues right now, kind of melting.
That's insane.
Like 3 fucking raccoons in a trench coat?
It should just be turning to water.
Manufactured snow. Manufactured ice. That's insane.
Should be cutting holes better right now.
Oh, it's melting perfectly. That's weird. Yeah, that's crazy.
We should have been getting ice all off of there. It should have been done within a matter of minutes.
Scream, stop resisting.
I've never seen anything in 64 years like this. And my daddy was...
You must not have tried this very often because, yeah.
He'd tell you the same thing.
Especially when it's super cold.
When you stick that kind of heat to an ice cube, it should just melt.
Well, that's not an ice cube.
Stuff ain't melting.
That's crazy. That's insane.
It melted perfectly there. You even made little streaks where it melted. People are so fucking stupid. They don't want to understand. They want it to be a conspiracy. They want it. It's fucking insane. I saw this. This is actually an older video, but I'm going to post it. This is Trump's first year by the numbers.
Has Trump only been back in office for 1 year? It feels longer. But here's that year by the numbers.
Everyone's been shocked by the numbers.
Less than 1%. That's how much of the Epstein files Trump's Justice Department has released, according to their own estimates, even though they were legally required to release all of it by December 19th.
They're asking me questions about Jeffrey Epstein. I thought that was finished.
1,500. The number of times Trump's name appears in the first major dump of Epstein documents released by Congress. 500.
No, it's sublimation. They're skipping the liquid part and going straight to gas, perfect conditions.
150 Epstein file pages in the initial Justice Department release that were completely redacted. That is, the whole page blacked out. At least
550 pages. That's completely redacted from top to bottom.
6. The number of people who've lost their lives at the hands of Trump's immigration enforcement agents. More than 170 American citizens abducted by ICE. At least 3 American children deported without due process, including a 4-year-old with stage 4 cancer.
American children.
7 countries Trump has bombed. 2 countries Trump claims to be president of. Yes, on social media, he actually declared himself acting president of Venezuela. 10 territories Trump has suggested he might invade and or take over.
President Trump today threatened to intervene in Iran.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
We're talking about your desire to claim Canada, Greenland.
You forgot the Panama Canal. We're going to be talking about Syria, too.
You have to do something with Mexico.
Cuba's going to be something we'll end up talking about.
Colombia is very sick, too. Run by a sick man, and he's not going to be doing it very long.
8 wars Trump claims he stopped.
I settled 8 wars, big ones.
0, the number of actual wars that Trump has brought an actual end to. 20 million, the Americans who saw their health insurance premiums skyrocket because of Trump and Republicans nixing the Affordable Care Act tax credits. $44 billion in losses American farmers are facing due to Trump's tariffs. 400 million, the new estimate for how much Trump's ballroom will cost. 3.4 billion, how much the Trump family has profited off the presidency since he returned to office, according to analysis by the New Yorker. 90 days spent at Trump golf properties. 126 million, the estimated cost to taxpayers for those golf trips. Roughly 2,000 times Trump has...
Oh, Mariah's uncle you guys are talking about, he's a fucking lunatic. The first time I ever met him, he tried to tell me that bullshit about take out your social security card and that number on the back of it, that's your account, and you go to this website and type it in, and that's where they're holding they're holding your money, and they're investing in you, and you're a slave, and you have access to that money. And the first time I ever fucking met him, he's such a piece of shit. Dipped out on his fucking kids, disappears for 20 goddamn years, comes back, plays Father of the Year.
Complained about President Biden.
60-year-old man living at home with his parents, but every once in a while he works at a restaurant, so.
Because of Sleepy Joe Biden. This is Biden's economy.
A New York Times analysis from March found Trump was saying Biden's name an average of more than 6 times per day.
Biden.
More than 6 times a day he says Biden. Someone said, God damn, if I didn't choose the worst decade to get clean and sober.
Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden.
At least 15 major performances canceled at the Kennedy Center after Trump's cronies vandalized the building by illegally adding Trump's name to it. $2 trillion.
Yeah, like, actually after that first time I met him and he did that Social Security card bullshit, his son and daughter that he didn't raise started coming back around, and he just up and left. Didn't tell anybody, didn't do nothing, just left and disappeared for like a fucking year before he contacted anybody. And then he called back and said, well, I got a job in Ohio at a TGI Fridays or some stupid shit. Like you moved 8 hours away to work at a TGI Fridays without telling anybody? That makes sense.
Tax break Trump's big ugly bill gives to the richest Americans. $1 trillion, how much it cuts from food stamps. At least 13 billionaires serving in Trump's administration during the first year. 3 dementia tests that Trump brags he aced.
I did something no other president's ever done. I've taken now 3 guys.
Does he not wonder why his doctor wanted him to take 3 different dementia tests? What about your MRI? Where did they take it? Oh, what's an MRI? No, sir. What part of your body? I don't know. Wasn't my head, though. I aced all those dementia tests.
That's a weird way for Trump to announce that his doctors thought he needed 3 dementia tests. 5 blue states that Trump tried to cut off federal funds to over unsubstantiated claims of fraud. 9 red states that Trump pressured to gerrymander their Congress.
I mean, imagine just your doctor sends you to a specialist. And you're like, why? Right? You go see your family doctor, and he's like, hey, I'm going to have to run you out to this specialist. You wouldn't fucking ask why? They got Trump going to 3 different dementia tests in like 6 months. And he's like, I don't know, but I aced it. I'm a good boy. Doctor said so. Got a sucker and everything.
Congressional maps off cycle to try to rig the midterms. 6
9 red states he tried to convince to change their districts.
Cut off federal funds to over unsubstantiated claims of fraud. 9 red states that Trump pressured to gerrymander their congressional maps off cycle to try to rig the midterms. 6 vaccines the CDC has stopped recommending for children. More than 2,000 measles cases, the highest number in decades. About 300,000 federal jobs cut. $2 trillion. How much Doge promised to save American taxpayers? $135 billion. Instead of saving taxpayers money, that's how much one analysis finds that Doge's chaos cost us.
Cost 100. So they claimed $2 trillion. They cost us $135 billion. We lost 135, and that's not counting like the data security and all that shit, where they're just like selling Social Security data to whoever they want to sign a contract with.
And that's not even including the long-term damages. 0. Despite claims that it was rooting out fraud, that's the number of criminal fraud prosecutions resulting from Doge's work. $6 billion cut from NIH medical research into curing cancer, Alzheimer's, and other diseases. 2020, the election Trump still will not stop talking about.
The election was rigged. The election was rigged. The election was rigged. It was so rigged. The rigged election. This election was so crooked. They say we lost the election. The fake election. They screwed.
Did you guys say Trump? Did you guys hear Trump the other day say he might go for a 4th term? He skipped the 3rd term. Said he might go for a 4th term.
On the second election, they were cheating. You could see it go. Here we are. The election was rigged. The election was rigged. We won 3 times. Just so you understand. I won Minnesota 3 times, and I didn't get credit for it. I would have won California. I would have won New York. We won 3 in a row. We had the rigged election. It was a rigged election.
About about 1,600 pardons or commutations for the violent criminals who attacked America and brutalized police in the deadly January 6th attack. 36% Trump's approval rating, the lowest end of first-year rating for any president in at least half a century. 1,095. How many days we have left of Trump if he is able to complete his term, and if he complies with the Constitution and leaves office at the end of his term. I'm Alan Piper at APiper13 and Piperama. Follow Courier Newsroom for the...
I think after midterms, he might just disappear. Like, we probably won't see him more. He's not making the decisions anyways. He's not even typing out his own tweets.
So you need to get through the next 1,095 days.
But I think the right knows that J.D. Vance doesn't pull the same way that Trump does, right? None of them do. So they need him as the figurehead if they're going to have any chance, which I don't think they do. I think they lose goddamn drastically. The biggest fucking blue wave coming in, especially when they're out here killing people in the streets. It's the National Guard at the Whipple Center in Minnesota, apparently.
I got some coffee, donuts, hot chocolate.
What are you guys giving out?
Acting like normal goddamn humans. Interacting with protesters. Handing shit out.
Coffee, donuts, hot chocolate.
And you're with the Minnesota National Guard?
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are.
Why was this important for you guys to do today?
It's a demonstration of safety and security. We're here to help. I got some coffee, donuts, hot chocolate.
Just to demonstrate safety and security, we're here to help.
What are you guys giving out?
Coffee, donuts, hot chocolate.
I don't know why they can't pretend. I say just can't pretend to be humans.
And you're with the Minnesota National Guard?
Yeah, we are. Yes.
Oh, I want to see that. Destiny making fun of Bovino when he can't pull the fucking. Let's do. I think it was on the Gnomes clip channel, Destiny Gnome, or Destiny Gnome clips. That something Gnome, Destiny Gnome. Benevolent. Oh, they didn't all load. Hold on, that was my bad. There we go. It's this one.
Oh no. Cringe? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's trying to... He's figuring out the pin. Hold on.
Mariah's family's always treated me like shit, dude. They tried to separate her one time and tell her that I was going to hell and I was a demon and that she needed to get away from me. They accused me of stealing from them one time with zero evidence. Just some crazy lady screaming, like fucking wild shit. They talk shit about me when I'm not around. They won't say anything when I am around. And they've even talked shit about like my disability and stuff like that. And, you know, the issues I have when I was working and shit with my disability, but they have a fucking neighbor that literally has the same exact thing. Like he's got PTSD from combat and they go out of their way to help him. And they fucking did some type of emergency response to like take him to the emergency room one time. They talk about how bad his fucking shit was, like how bad his PTSD was, and treat me like I'm fucking, I don't know. It's just insane the way they act. And then play dumb. Right? When I finally fucking blow up and call them out, they're like, you said some really hurtful and untrue things. We've always treated you like family. Suck my dick.
Oh no. Cringe? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's trying to...
It's coming. Any minute.
He's figuring...
It's coming.
Hold on. It's coming.
I told him in a text message, I was like, you guys operate like there are no fucking consequences. And maybe there isn't in your family, but I'd like to introduce you to me. I am the fucking consequences. This is it. I am the consequences for mistreating Mariah and my family.
It's coming. Hold on, he's getting it.
Any minute now. Here it comes. We got it.
Hold on.
Okay, here we go. What a fucking dork. He misses everybody. He throws it into a field. It blows back in his own face.
It doesn't look like it's... doesn't really look like it's going the right way.
They play so dumb that every time Mariah shows up, they're like, oh, William didn't come? He didn't want to come hang out with our weekly dinner? Oh, I wonder why.
Well, it looks like we're going to have to clear out of that position.
Stand back up. The green stuff. The green stuff.
It's like one of those, what do you call it? The baby shower announcement things? They're having a turtle. Oh no. Cringe? The war against whole milk.
Did anybody know that us liberals have a war against whole milk? No one told me. I've been buying fucking whole milk. And I wish I would have known, because I could have double dipped back in December with the war on Christmas and the war on whole milk. Remind me to show you what a raw milk party is.
Whole milk is over. The war against whole milk is over, Lib. You lose. What?
The war against whole milk is over, Lib. You lose.
Yeah, I still don't know when we switched from the raw milk to the whole milk. Were people...
I don't drink milk. I know Mariah used to get 2% or skim or whatever for the kids to drink. I like cook with it and make things with it, and it's so much better when it's whole milk.
Who is fighting against whole milk? When did this happen? Who cares?
What is the exact basis for the MAGA position on milk? Close
no one
your
knows.
eyes and just like imagine a thing that you have like 60% good feelings towards. I'm gonna imagine Skittles. Now in your mind, imagine liberals really hate Skittles. And imagine telling all of your friends that liberals really hate Skittles. And then going online and complaining about these liberals that really hate Skittles until you get everybody riled up, and now you want to eat more Skittles than you've ever eaten in your entire fucking life before. And that's basically it. Do liberals hate milk like that? No, I've never heard this in my life. I don't know where this idea of liberals fighting milk came from. For a while, conservatives seem to be on this like raw milk thing, which I fully support.
Yeah.
I think you should engage in any type of self-destructive behavior that removes you from the gene pool faster if it's only destructive to yourself. But for some reason, they switched from raw milk to whole milk, I guess. I don't know. The war against whole milk is over.
All right, so remind me to show you. The maggots think that we're against them having raw milk. No, I mean, it's fucking dumb. Do whatever you want.
Lose.
Kill yourself, whatever, right? But they are having raw milk parties. Parties that they go to, like you would think like a New Year's Eve party. Look. You get invited to a raw milk party, and they're just all chugging raw milk.
Is a raw milk party.
So basically, they think that we want them not to have it because it benefits them somehow. When really, it's like just when people are advising other people to drink raw milk, we're like, no, that's not very good for you.
Whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy. Parting gifts from this party is Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria,
That's not true, Mariah. How many servings of man milk have you had?
Raw milk.
I put some in your to-go box this morning. Why are white people regressing? Raw milk.
I saw this video on Twitter that's getting ratio to oblivion. It's a video of a group of white people, 20 or so, and they're having a raw milk party. And the caption is, "Milk is back." How do I ask this?
It's back, guys.
Why have white people allowed their brains to be melted by internet garbage to the point to where they're like, oh yeah, raw milk over, pasteurized clean milk. I want my body to be full of E. coli and parasites. Give me raw meat. Is it bad for me? And will it possibly kill me? Yeah, but my ancestors ate raw meat. Even though that might be true, I still want to eat it. Vaccines? People used to live without vaccines back in the day, right? Just don't be.
I mean, if anything, we should, like, if you really wanted to be on the supernatural health path, you just wouldn't be drinking milk at all, right? We're the only fucking mammal that drinks another fucking animal's milk.
People that die from a disease. It's called survival of the strongest. Duh. White people used to mock minorities in third world countries for not having the technology and medicine that they had. And now they're voluntarily being like...
Yeah, like, I'm not saying, obviously they drink cow's milk before, right? Before pasteurization was even invented. But it's literally like the percentage is like, it's like 1,000 times safer to just pasteurize it, heat it up, kill bacteria, then ship it out.
Ha! Fuck medicine and fuck technology. Generally, I don't understand. We need a study on why this is happening. I saw this video on Twitter that's getting ratio to oblivion. It's a video of a group of white.
Oh yeah, there's a guy
or so, and they're having.
There's a guy that's famous. His name is not, what is it? I always want to say Dracula, but that's not his name. His name is actually Cavalier something, and he literally breaks the bones in his face to look Max. Cavicular? What's his name? You guys know what I'm talking about. He was part of that Nazi party. I can't type that in. Looks maxing. He's like famous for it. He literally, the only thing he's famous for is microfractures in his cheekbone to make himself look better. What's his name? Oh, hold on. Clavicular. I was right. This guy.
I can't even close it right anymore. I don't look like me. I'm ruined. Now I'm a sub 5. Fuck. I paid for this. It messed me up. Look at my jaw. I can't even close it right anymore.
This is the guy that breaks his jaw. Clavicular injects his 17-year-old girlfriend with peptides to looks-max her. If you ever want to. This is part of the incel community, right? You have to have this perfect, like, sculpt face for women to be attracted to you, and that's how you become an alpha and blah, blah, blah.
Dude, I can already see clips. Clive injects meth on.
That's him.
Hey, dog, I'm crazy. Chat, we're looks maxing her. We're looks maxing her.
Yeah, they all went on a Nazi party. Clavicular, the Tates, Nick Fuentes, they all had a Nazi outing. Oh, I can't play this. All right, so this is what he started at. Basically, to have like a sharp jawline and to like jut your chin out, basically. He did run a guy over, yes. Don't smash your face. He says that's all cope. Smash your face. They don't actually break it. They make macro fractures, and it like elongates some of them when it heals back. Where was their little Nazi get-together party they did? Hold on, I'll find it. They went out and played. They went to a club and got the song, got them to play Hell Hitler. It was Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, Clavicular, and others. He did run somebody over with his car. It was I just assumed that it maybe was like clickbait stuff. I don't know. Here it is. This is their little Nazi get-together they had. Am I muted? No? Okay, it just audio wasn't playing yet. Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, Clavicular, Fresh and Fit guys. Yeah, Nick Fuentes looks disgusted, and he's like, nah, I'm good. That's Myron Gaines. This is the guy I'm always talking about where he was in that Twitter audio chat or whatever, and one of the guys tells him, like, thanks for helping us get, these people out of our country, but like, once we get the illegal immigrants, you're next. He's like, what? Well, I'm one of you guys. Well,
Hey, we're an hour like fucking 8 or something. We're grinding, man. We're streaming 8 hours. Sorry. Streaming nonstop. Yeah.
It's a 4-hour stream. Obviously, we're not gonna watch it all, but
yeah, man. Yeah, this is literally the adventure right here. It's fucking crazy shit. My God. How you guys enjoying?
There's Sneeko. Sneeko went to a cuck party, then cried afterwards because his girlfriend got fucked.
Miami. Yeah, dude, it gets fucking.
And ever since then, he's been like this super hardcore right-wing alpha male guy.
Gets old quick. Really?
He also did some weird homoerotic modeling as well, but that doesn't make him gay. These are the alpha males, guys.
Good guys did so well. Yeah, I took up the shooting game. It's free. Dude, man. What's the bet right now? We don't wrong.
Andrew Tate's brother.
But I was being additive. Oh, okay. So, I'm trying to give it off on anyway. Well, no, I'm not this guy, man. I was doing fucking crystal meth.
They end up going to the club and getting the club to play the Hell Hitler Kanye song. That caused a bunch of outrage.
The thing is, make your shoulders look wider. Yeah. So you have to pull it in back. Yeah. Because like right here, what's going to happen is when you pull it in, it's going to suck this in, which is that you still should bring it to a pull it in. Yeah, yeah. Because like right here, what's going to happen
He's telling them how to grow lats.
is when you pull it in.
It's not really.
Very insecure. It's giving that I'm a fucking loser, but these people think I have money, so I can have people hang around me.
You suck it in, but they fit me well. Like that.
If you were to make your body look better, it's just hard work. People want to avoid it. Women don't like the shit. Don't eat too much. Don't eat too much.
What do you guys think of like peptides, the GLP-1s?
I'll be honest, I don't know much about any of this stuff. I can't even speak on a position of authority, approving of them or disapproving of them. I don't know much about peptides. I don't know much about steroids. I don't know much about anything.
Yeah. Question. I know it's Miami. Can you possibly do 9? I have to be in Tennessee that day. Can you do 9 a.m.? I know that's early. Can you?
I'll make it work.
Okay, I'll text him.
For their workout. 9 a.m. workout.
The worst thing about Louis Theroux is he actually used to be quite
never knowing the game. We studied because of you and them.
Have you seen, like, I understand there's like a Jim Bro mentality, and there's like, Barron Trump's big on these guys and sends that to his dad. Anyways, I understand there's like a big mentality around like, being serious in the gym, and people are getting tired of people like videotaping, and there's a bunch of these fake rage videos where somebody's like videotaping, they yell at somebody for walking in front of their camera while they're trying to work out, blah, blah, blah. But have you guys seen, what is it called, the Diamond Gym? And how fucking psycho they are there? Like, these people at this Diamond Gym are fucking psychos. Fucking psychos.
So this is Diamond Gym, a gym which has been dubbed the most dangerous gym in America, and for good reason. You've got influencers nearly sustaining career-altering injuries, busting open their heads, constantly throwing up, getting into fights, and somehow even losing toes. They've absolutely blown up on social media recently, and with their 200 rep sets, this gym appears to be all pain, no gain, yet it's still somehow become a rite of passage for fitness influencers to make a pilgrimage there.
Like, these fitness influencers or streamers or whatever are going here to get yelled at and made it gives that those people that have never been in the military, so they pay some guy who was in the military to like yell at them and call them bitches and shit, and then they're all hugging and kissing at the end. You know what I'm talking about? Those alpha male camps. That's what this is like.
There to see whether they can survive a workout. However, with their newfound attention,
like they want to be fucking yelled at and made to feel small, and I mean, maybe someone step on their testicles in stilettos or something. Like, it's very weird.
It's also become a massive wave of backlash on social media.
Someone's got to say it, bro. This Diamond Gym shit is the corniest thing I have ever seen in my life.
With tons of creators calling out their style of training and comments.
Like, you can get this ripped with fucking tests. Like, none of them are natural. You can get this ripped without being fucking assholes about shit. Like, they won't let people like they're live streaming, but you can't look at your phone. You can't do this. You can't. If they say like you're not giving enough, they'll give you like a punishment. Like, if they're like, oh, you're not pushing as hard as you could, go do 3,000 burpees in the corner. Or they're going to beat the shit out of you or something. It's so crazy.
It's just blowing up.
Corny as fuck.
Corny. But before we get into all of that, let me introduce you all to the 3 trailblazers.
This is Anabolic Stick.
Innovators who grew bored of hypertrophy and decided to pioneer atrophy-based training. First up is Hadi Abdel. Hadi's a familiar face as he's been periodically popping up on the official NASA-calibrated, military-grade Anabolic Stick Fake Natty radar for years now. He's basically an ex-fake natty turned self-proclaimed hardcore lifter.
Ex-fake natty. Almost a lot of these people try to claim they're natural, and then all of a sudden have to come out and say, look, I lied. I've been doing steroids. Baron is a fucking weirdo. That's corny as fuck, dude.
Still is a fake natty. He never really admitted
like you're doing this shit for
to his gear usage, but as far as I can tell, he doesn't make being natty his entire brand anymore. I think he's mostly dropped the grift by now, but more on that later. Even though Diamond Jim has been around for a very long time, Hottie's really the guy that gave this gym a new large platform on social media, as he was already pretty established by the time he started training and making videos there. Next up is Scala. Not really much
I'll be home soon, right? It's not supposed to get super cold till like 3 a.m., but I'll be home wait for that.
Say about this guy. He's a firefighter and Diamond Gym native who's known for just standing in the background of Hottie's videos, constantly screaming, "Bitch, I'd rather die!" Which is basically promo for his clothing brand called
Bird. Bitch, I'd rather die. Then what? Bitch,
I'd rather die! He's also recently very publicly fallen out with the rest of the crew for constantly promoting his clothing brand. Bitch, I'd rather die! Ah! Without contributing anything financially to the production of the videos. And then last, but certainly not least, we've got the progenitor, the architect, the Don, Unk. Unk is also a firefighter and Diamond Gym native, and he's the one commanding these workouts and is responsible.
Honestly, he's to the point where he's probably too big to be a firefighter, right? Like he's getting to the point where it's going to restrict his movement. He can't wipe his own ass. How the fuck is he going to fit in like tight spaces and shit? Like it's probably becoming a liability at this point.
For putting everyone through abject torture while pretty much just standing by and doing nothing himself. He runs an incredibly tight ship and has an entire...
I think the people that go there have like a cuck fantasy, and he has like this dominatrix shit going on.
List of rules that people must follow, lest they of course get banished to the hill. For example, if you even dare to take a single sip of water.
Oh yeah, one of the rules of the gym is no water. One of the rules of the gym, a gym, is no water. So these grown-ass men are being punished in their gym because this guy drank some water. They're letting another man punish them.
You've got Hottie, genuinely worried thinking someone just died or some shit just to find out Alex Eubanks took a sip of water. And if whatever you're drinking has any color to it, you get to do some extra burpees on top of that.
Flavored drinks are even worse.
Everybody 30 burpees. Fuck you. And it's colorful, 35. Now.
Yo, what am I supposed to do?
Die. You already fought in the house. They have to die.
What am I supposed to do? Die.
35.
Like, how is this even a real fucking play, dude? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't care. Go home. Multiple hospitals around here. Everybody gets shot, so it's not hospitals. 35 burpees. Hey, 30. You out of here. Wow.
So to add some context as to why Hottie looks like he's about to die.
And if you don't do it, they pretend like they're gonna bully the fuck out of you if they kick you out.
He threw up like a couple of minutes earlier in this video for having to go to the hill for the 8th time, just because, you guessed it, Unk caught him taking a sip of water. So he really should have drank some Gatorade to replenish those lost electrolytes, but no, not if Unk has any say in the matter. The guy is in actual pain and is having to do some burpees because of that. One grown-ass man letting another grown-ass man stop him from drinking fluids after vomiting, and even letting him penalize him for it. Yeah, this gym is never escaping the humiliation ritual accusation.
It's a humiliation ritual for fitness influencers.
Like, I can kind of see why they think not drinking any water during the workout makes them hard, but not rehydrating after vomiting while you're working out intensively? Dude, that's just plain dangerous and stupid. Like, dude, I swear to God, okay, I hate to be the one breaking this to you, man, but you're not a Navy SEAL during Hell Week, okay? Like, you're picking up heavy circles and putting them back down.
It would be one thing if they were doing all this, producing crazy results, and the cameras weren't there, but clearly this is all for, like, the cameras and attention, right?
Just drink some water, man. It's not that serious. You know, it's gotten to a point where every fitness influencer that pulls up to Diamond Gym at some point or another tries to sneak off to drink some water.
I mean, you can sip water, just don't get caught. Like, you go to the front, that's it. How'd you walk over there?
Mariah loves being teabagged. She'll say, William, make me an Earl Grey, and then go, ah, like it's wild.
Now, if for some reason the no water wasn't stupid enough for you, you're also not allowed to close your eyes at any point during your sets.
Not allowed to close your eyes.
Now, their reasoning for this is because during battle, you should never close your eyes as to always be able to see the enemy. Just one small problem, though. You're not fighting in the Octagon or getting into firefights in Kandahar. You're in Maplewood, New Jersey. There is one thing, however,
Maplewood, New Jersey.
This gym has in common with an active war zone.
I knew I fucking hated it for a reason. It's in New Jersey.
times innocent people get caught in the crossfire. You see, Unk has a habit of just randomly locking on to random.
She'll go, oh, let it steep. Like it's crazy.
Cameramen and forcing them to do burpees for absolutely no fucking reason.
Go, Kevin, go when they told me. That should not do it. No. Fuck out. Oh, shit. Hey, yo, matter of fact, somebody got to figure it the fuck out. Somebody. Either you going to do it or you going to do it. Because y'all came together. Where you at? Come on. Where I'm from, you shoot the shooter and the driver. And you the driver. Oh, shit. Take your little ass over there. 25 burpees. Because kind of fucking up, you're going to die.
You know, the 50 burpees are one thing. Getting emasculated and called a little man in front of hundreds of thousands of viewers, though, those are fighting words. That's all I'm saying. Me personally, I wouldn't let that shit slide. But that's just me, though. That's just me. I mean, I'd end up getting my skull caved in by this absolute behemoth of a man, don't get me wrong.
With some sugar and some D.
Wrong, but I wouldn't just take it like a good boy, okay? That's generational aura debt right there. Your great-great-grandkids are still gonna be paying that one off. Yeah, I wouldn't do shit, I can't lie. You know, that wasn't even the first time that happened to the poor guy. They hired him to film for Hussein Farhad as well, and Unk pulled the
That's just the cameraman. The cameraman's getting yelled at.
exact same shit.
Yo, cameraman. Little ass over there.
No, they just said the name of it. I just said it out loud. You have to rewind. I don't remember. It's something else, New Jersey. It wasn't Belmar. Well, maybe, I don't know. I just said it. It is in New Jersey.
He never did a show. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't read enough books. He doesn't know anything. Bitch, I've been in the gym with legends. Have you?
Maplewood. Maplewood, New Jersey.
Have you been? What's your in the gym resume look like? How many bodies you caught?
Whoa, pause. Unk, what? Bodies? Huh? Unk, what you mean by that? See, I always knew I got some homoerotic vibes from Diamond Gym, bro. A bunch of grown-ass men letting another grown man dominate them in the gym.
How many anal virginities have you taken?
In front of hundreds of thousands.
In the gym.
Hold on, now that's gotta be part of the humiliation ritual. You gotta become one of Unk's bodies. Now this stuff goes deeper than I thought. Even Hottie was like, what?
How many bodies you caught? How many?
But okay, let's get down to the meat of it all, and their largest source of criticism, their training methodology. If you go to this gym hoping to build any muscle, you're gonna be sorely disappointed. Matter of fact, I genuinely think you're more likely to lose muscle as a natural lifter training there. By lifting the way they lift, you're just putting yourself at an increased risk of developing rhabdomyolysis.
They just injure people all the fucking time, of course.
Tissue, while not reaping any more hypertrophic benefits than if you were to train like a normal person would. You see, the average set at Diamond Gym,
like a human,
between 100 and 200 reps, and no matter which muscle group you train, you also have to do 30 push-ups between each set. Yes, that also includes leg day.
Let's go. Put it up a rack. Let's go. That's good. Get right to it.
Factor in the hill runs and burpees every single time someone breaks the rules, and it starts to make sense pretty fast why nearly everyone vomits and why many fitness influencers heavily consider tapping out in the middle of these workouts.
I bet you fucking won't.
Take for example Mikey from the Trent Twins. He's someone who's very much used to training with high intensity, yet he nearly called it quits in the middle of his visit to Diamond Gym.
I don't see him.
Send Austin in there as Ramesh.
Where your brother? Let's go find him. Go get him. Yo!
Bring a spray bottle of water like that you do to cats.
He's good. We're good. Yo, nah, I gotta start doing my cardio.
That's liquid, bro.
Back and forth. So you got one thing here, then you got this here, then you got this here, then you got this here. I'll do that shit. That's about it. Yeah. Back when you had to do deadlift. You are in some thing, man. Hey, man, it's Diamond Gym. I just want y'all to know, it's real. It's not fake. His heart rate's so high because it's moving, and it's a lot of weight, and it's a lot of volume. So you're getting worked up. You're not getting time to rest.
And his heart rate's like the size of a basketball. They're all on fucking trend or some shit. Right.
We just gotta go. Let's go eat.
You know,
your heart gets bigger than your lungs.
If the big brolic tatted up black dudes,
it's like one big fucking callus,
on the barbells were enough of a signifier that Diamond Gym is a rather hardcore lifting establishment, and surely the old head screaming, "What happens when death becomes you?" should do the trick.
What happens when death becomes you, motherfucker? Let's fucking go. What happens when death becomes you? Let's go. Yeah, come on. Death fucking becomes you. You're fucking immortal in this shit. Everybody's fucking man. You're a fucking god. Let's fucking go.
They've got Kratos. They've got the God of War in this band. Who's this guy? Oh, dude. Diamond Gym is an actual fucking fever dream, man. The intensity is actually off the charts, though, and the fact that Hottie trains like this regularly is crazy. Which, by the way, is also how he's inadvertently ratted himself out. He's always claimed natural, even though he most likely wasn't from the start. I mean, just look at his physique and the company he kept. Birds of a feather flock together and all. But no one that is natural could actually train like this on a regular basis and recover. I mean, the guy's vomiting every workout, and just listen to what he himself has to say.
You know, bro, I do this shit every day. Don't get no easier. Just as fucked up as it was last time.
You know what one of the dumbest things about Diamond Gym is? None of the weights scale to the muscularity of the fitness influencers. If Unk's big roided ass...
Oh yeah, whatever somebody, like, let's say, you saw the cameraman earlier, right? How skinny he was? Everybody has to lift the same weight. So like if this guy has like fucking 615 on there, that's you too.
is a certain weight. Well, tough luck, buddy. You could literally be someone that doesn't even work out like Nick Cena, and you're gonna have to match those weights. Like, what's the actual point? Why make him do the same weights as Unk does just to have two dudes practically lift the weight for him, rather than simply taking off some of the plates to a weight that he can actually do himself to any meaningful degree? Whether he reaches failure in 8 reps with the assistance of 2 dudes, or 8 reps by himself with lower weights, it has the exact same effect. Even Will Tennyson, a very seasoned and very strong lifter, was just straight up telling them that it is outside of his physical capacity to lift as much weight as Unk does, to the point where it just doesn't even make sense to try.
Yo, come on, bro. Get out of your head, bro. I know you get your head before you even start. 10 reps in, and I'm changing the weight off here. 10?
I've seen that guy's videos before. He's nowhere near as big as those guys. Like, what the fuck?
It was really hard to stay confident going into these sets because it was so far out of my comfort zone. Any sign of self-doubt.
He can't even lift it off. He can't even lift it off to knock the safeties off.
Myself really pissed them off. Like, really pissed them off a lot.
Let's fuck you up right here.
A lot.
Get it in your fucking head. You can do it. Here we go. Yo, let's fucking go. Go.
I don't get it, man. Do they think we live in an anime where you can just go Super Saiyan and magically lift a weight that your body physically couldn't push up a couple of seconds prior? Like his body.
They're saying that him being like, I can't lift 800 pounds on the leg press. That's all in your head, bro. It's all in your head. Why do you get crushed to death by it?
Body just mechanically cannot output the same amount of force as Unk can. To Will's credit, he does end up doing some reps, but obviously not clean full ones because the weight is just simply too much. And the same thing happened.
He can't even go all the way down.
They put up so many plates that he actually physically couldn't push them up, and they had like 2 dudes helping him instead of simply taking off some plates.
You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Let's go. Come on.
The worst of this was when Unk had Hussein Farhad deadlifting way more than he should have as someone that had never deadlifted before.
Never done a deadlift. Never done a deadlift. And for some reason, this guy's choking him.
Hold on. Everything you fucking got. Come on. What down? You got to wake up. Head up. 1, 2, 3 up. You got to give me some. Give me some. Don't leave me down alone. Let's go. Somebody got to jump these fucking waters with me. Who's wake the fuck up? Come on. Wake the fuck up.
Dude, it's like they want the guy paralyzed. Listen, I've had my disagreements. I've had my fair share of disagreement with Hussein Farhad in the past, okay?
God damn, dude.
But I don't want
to get somebody killed.
That genuinely looked like
paralyzed, something.
This at once. Someone in the comments, please tell me what exactly did this lift do for Hussein except substantially increase the risk of him injuring himself. He didn't even look cool doing it. People generally ego lift to look cool. He got pulled up by his throat. If anything, the guy lost aura points because of that. Unk will force these guys to do like 400 burpees and 20 hill runs while doing nothing himself, just to then establish an insane benchmark on these compound lifts while being fresh and having 0 fatigue, and then forcing these much smaller dudes who are now dead tired to lift the same weights as he does. Hottie even called him out on the fact that Unk dishes out these punishments for no reason while just resting himself.
Everybody out, 15 more.
I don't drink water. I didn't drink no water either. Come to the burpees. Come do it with me.
Why don't you do them with me? I didn't drink the water. Yeah, I didn't either.
So, come on, I worry about that shit. I'll do 100. He's upset. He wore the wrong color panties today. The TTD panties that he has on doesn't fit. And now he's taking that on me.
Not to mention Scala as well. In that Will Tennyson clip, he was screaming at Will for not wanting to injure himself, lifting Unk's weights while being fatigued, just to then quietly finish his own set with like 1,000 reps in reserve in the background. Hottie's the only guy from the core 3 that actually practices what he preaches. And don't get me started on the insanely high reps they demand. Like, sure, you're doing 200 reps, but they look like this.
Yeah, where he's got the heavy ass mop or whatever. Crazy sets. Look at it.
I saw someone say that they're doing overhead vibrations. These aren't even half reps. They're quarter reps. Just 0
overhead jerk-offs.
Gain and all mental torture. Which I guess is the whole point of Diamond Gym, to be fair. To their credit, they do specifically state that they're not bodybuilders, that their way of training is highly unorthodox and to not emulate them. And I'll let you guys in on a little secret, actually. I'm a fan of their videos. You know, watching a bunch of meathead train at a level of intensity that doesn't even make sense just lights up my monkey brain. You know, especially in this whole era of science-based lifting, I feel like Diamond Gym is almost a counterculture movement, you know? A breath of fresh air. Like, I do fuck with Diamond Gym, which is why, Hottie, if you're watching this, I've had my fun making fun of you guys, okay? Get your get back. Let me pull up. Let me come through. I'm gonna be in the area in April. Let's make it happen. Anywho, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next video.
Fucking insane, dude. Who would do this? Oh no. The fakest dude in country. Let's see what the Rhine Up Church rundown was.
But yeah, man, this dude is so fake.
It's Gotcha Man, by the way.
Claim to fame, being some song.
Jim Bob is his channel now, but it's Gotcha Man.
Dollar boy, and claiming to be this true Southern country boy with these country boy ways and the country boy traditions. And it turns out that you're just fake as fuck. None of it's real, and it's all written about your buddy. And you hate that shit so much now that you make fun of it. I mean, you're literally on here making fun of Deerdorf for wheeling in his Jeep. You're like, all you guys did was ride around in your Jeep and go four-wheeling and flip over the Jeep and on camera.
It'd be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, middle of the day. What are they doing? Somewhere else, fucking off, getting drunk, flipping a junky, shitty Jeep down the hill, looking in the camera going, look what we did, we flipped a Jeep.
You mean like a holler boy does?
Man,
my boss just reached out and said that I really need to make it in today regardless. I'm gonna give it my best shot. This is video proof, boss. No, you never believe me, man. trust me, I understand the bottom line and all that. You know, the P&L. I know, man. But I mean, this shit's just, it's serious thing, man. I tried everything I could, boss. I'm gonna be able to make it in today. Dang. I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I didn't do real good in like weather class in school, or whatever you call it, where they teach you about the weather. Science class maybe? I don't know, but I don't get how it's 26 degrees out and raining. Like, that's the shit that don't make no sense to me. On top of all this snow and stuff too, right? Anyway, yeah, we're out here today, man. We out here, bro. I did everything I could to get to work today. As you guys seen in the beginning of this vlog, there's nothing I can do. Like, we're stuck. We're not getting out today at all. But
the weed eater.
Here real quick to Kroger. I just really craving some like jalapeno tuna for some reason. Yeah, man, my wife has a prescription to pick up. Hopefully some people's there with them. You know, she's got some prednisone. Get in the zone, prednisone. It's a steroid. She's, you know, she's in the ways pretty hard trying to bulk up. Speaking of people taking care of their body and trying to look different, church, man, like I was saying, you could have had XOXO JJ help you all the way out with that makeup shit. I didn't put this picture in the video last night, but you could clearly tell he's off by a few shades, right, JJ?
Oh, he's wearing makeup in the videos now.
He was trying to get the tone to match just right, but he was off just a little bit. You went a little too light with the foundation, homie. Here's my thing, though. Like, why are you actively trying to put makeup on sores on your face? That's why I told my wife earlier. I said, you know what? If for some reason...
Those meth sores on his face?
Like,
you guys think Church is doing meth?
Something like a real normal accident. Like,
I mean, it could be his Adderall making him pick his shit on his face, right?
Like, I turned around and hit the little sharp part of a can opener somehow with my chin. Like, I wouldn't cover that up. I wouldn't even think about covering it up. The only reason that you put makeup on a crater on your face is because you know good and well that it's only there for the wrong reasons. You know good and well people gonna roast that ass, bro. So that's why you're like, hey man, remember when y'all said that Mr. Clapper didn't come to the house?
What'd y'all say? James...
Why you wearing your shirt like that, Ryan?
The James Clapper fucking dude didn't come to my house?
Found somebody, but I ain't doing it. And I ain't got no proof. Oh, shit. All right. Avalanche! Well, there's some people there, Kroger. All right, let's go ahead and get this print over. I'll be right back. Sound like a chainsaw, bro. Woo! Listen. Oh, that's somebody's car.
That's somebody's car. It does sound like a chainsaw.
Listen, my wife was like, you really about to go out in this today? And I'm like, come on, man. Much like this dude in the side-by-side right there, this is like my time to shine, right? The fact that I got these big stupid-ass wheels on here, like the only time you won't come out here and show this bitch off, right?
All right, more up, Church.
You gonna help do it or not? We finna blow that thing up. I mean, pushing folks out, I just one per day. If he's still out here fucking around when I get out, I'll go help him. Well, ain't gonna be no pred design to make you have your priorities fucked up. I've been saying that shit for years. Well, my priorities are fucked up, so I didn't feel like I had the right to speak on it. Man, I just realized on the way out that she said lemons with an S, and I only got one lemon. Maybe one's lemon. I'm pretty convinced of what I want to be. Like, yeah, you doing? Well, I wouldn't. They only have one lemon. Pretty sure the world's in it. So, man, I keep seeing these people in front-wheel drive cars out here. Like, what are you doing? Well, I wouldn't even come out. I wouldn't even try it. It's a dummy mission, bro.
Well, front-wheel drive cars do better in the snow than rear-wheel drive cars.
I'm like trying to support Ryan. Let's back to him, man. Look, he's got an active bleeder right here on his ear.
Ooh, that shit I didn't notice.
Bleeding on camera. He's like, hey, no, and Deerdorf, and he's a fucking fag. Is he? He ain't picking his face to death, dog. This dude.
And Deerdorf suing him.
This dude showed his debit card, showed his bank account, showed us that he's getting sued, showed his address. When he slammed that paper down, talking about Deerdorf trying to sue me, he literally had his address on it, bro. Which I'm not gonna show it, because that's how I got the last video taken down. So he cried about his phone number that he shared. I'm like, where'd you get his number from? Out that little hole in his ear. I got the area code out there. There were 7 digits out of that crater in his chin. I forgot to message the group chat and see who was on daggy duty. Somebody needs to talk him into trying to go somewhere in that Hyundai. We need a good little daggy trip. That's a good idea. Let's lay right down there. There's a wide open lot right there, player. Matter of fact, I got a doctor's appointment here on Tuesday, so I can say I'm just here to check it out. Once.
Got donuts. Favorite pastime in the South.
Super short. Shit, right up a little bit. Any out that was stuck on something like a superhero. But listen, the pharmacy was closed because of the weather, and they only had one lemon left in the whole grocery store. Yeah, is that crazy or what? Maybe one of the. I didn't see the S on lemons, so that's lemon. how'd that go? Man, I got to digging around the house and found something I didn't think I'd ever see again. Man, this old camera right here. I used this on the first Creekers album. Man, we filmed so much of that album with this old camera right here. Man, what a time capsule. I should be listed on the royalties there. He probably don't remember me though. Hey, there's one positive out of all this though. At least now he's showing people who he really is, right? Being more transparent now than ever and showing that he's fake and the contradictions have less gaps between them, right? We're bitching constantly about Deardorff. And you know what my opinion on Deardorff suing him? It's about time he gets his, right? I mean,
for sure, yeah.
It's about you.
Talk so much fucking shit about him.
About you. You deserve a piece of the pie, right? I mean, didn't Bart Christopher? I'm sure he got some money off of the Van Wilder movie. You know, just people just getting theirs where it's due, man. But yeah, man, this dude is so fake. Imagine your claim to fame being some song called Holler Boy and claiming to be this true Southern country boy, right? With these country boy ways and the country boy traditions. And it turns out that you're just fake as fuck. None of it's real and it's all written about your buddy. And you hate that shit so much now that you make fun of it. You're literally on here making fun of Deardorff for wheeling in his Jeep.
It'd be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, middle of the day. What are they doing? Somewhere else, fucking off, getting drunk, flipping a fucking junky, shitty fucking Jeep down the hill.
That's what all your music is about? Fucking off, getting drunk, being country, out in the woods, mud.
In the camera going, look at the we flip a Jeep.
Like a holler boy does? Huh? Everything about this dude's fake, dude. And listen, I know there's still some people out there going, man, dear baby, sweet baby Jesus, please let Ryan be a real country boy. Man, I based my life around the fact that he's a real country boy. I know it's gonna be hard for you to believe. Don't you think that if he had any country boy in him, that it would show on here a little bit? I mean, you take somebody like Deardorff, who that's all you see the man doing. I mean, this morning he's literally on Instagram
working on cars, out in the woods, lift kits, cutting off exhaust, fucking driving in the woods. That's all he does.
Saying his power went out. The first thing he did was, as a man of the household, get up and fix power in his house.
So we woke up this morning, no power in my house. I guess we had a power surge because it kicked all the breakers, kicked my inverter off, because my house was on batteries and shit. And so it took me a minute this morning to flip breakers and shit in different sequences and get the generator fired up, so now we got power shit again. And now I'm about to fire up this old girl.
That's Cheatham County. They got hit pretty bad.
And maybe grab the chainsaw and venture out, see if I can cut some trees out of the road somewhere, do something productive.
Maybe that's why we haven't heard from Brian today. He's probably trying to get his Instagram to work, to reach out to fucking power company. This is why Deardorff needed a power of attorney. Whose email's on my power account? It's not coming on. The power company's seen me on Instagram trying to get the login to it all this time, and Command Shift won't even tell me how to log into my power bill. Deardorff country boy, head of the household, fixing his house. Ryan? Little crybaby city boy, little baby back bitch on the internet crying about his problems. It's so fake lately, and like I said, the contradictions get closer and closer together. I mean, the dude just teased us with a little bit of his new, fantastic music, where in the song he says this. And now check my bank account, that shit ain't interesting. Yeah, man, who wants to look at bank accounts? That's boring. And then within, I don't know, a few hours, put this out there.
But look, it says, City National fucking Bank, okay?
Where he's literally going through his bank accounts.
Obsessing over it.
Saying that cards don't match the numbers on the accounts, because he's, yeah.
It shows you right here, card number ending in, all on the edge. All right, for one, this is not a City National Bank card. This is a fucking Pinnacle card.
But yeah, the shit would bleed through a little bit, right? I mean, what you really do and how you carry yourself, I don't care how much you try to not show the audience something about you. If you do this long enough, it'll bleed through. And this dude does it for a living. He claims that's his main thing that he wants to do on here, is he wants to make sure that he documents his journey. Therefore, a lot of his life is recorded on here. And if it was somebody who was an actual country boy.
Yeah, he went into this weird thing where he's like, oh, this is all a documentary, so I got to record everything.
That does any kind of country boy shit, you would see
putting together a 25-year documentary or some shit.
It would naturally come through, right? Like, I'm the guy on here trying to be the funny guy and just play clips of other people and poke fun at it. But at the end of the day, I'm a busybody, I'm a working man, I'm a guy that takes care of his family, so that shit bleeds through. And you guys know that I do that sort of thing. And I'm a hands-on kind of guy, mechanic. I've showed you guys changing timing chains in my truck, fuel pumps in my son and my daughter's car, and just shit like that, because it bleeds through. Your true self will bleed through. And his true self is just literally a little baby-fied fuck who just literally acts like he's been pampered his whole life. These other people had to have carried him. So, like, when I see Deardorff suing him, I hope to God Deardorff gets
I know when he was younger and people would challenge him to fights, he would say he had asthma and send Deardorff to fight him instead.
Back for some of that bullshit. 20 years of dealing with a princess like him. I mean, it's gotta be worth it. I just hope he gets in there soon, because everybody's gonna get their ain't looking good for dude over there. Dude, quit teasing this new music, man. That shit sucks, bro. Got her driving the Mad Caddy. I don't care if she mad scratch. Shawty is mad scratch. Got her driving the Mad Caddy. You don't care if she mad scratch it? Man, she mad scratched it. Y'all don't go nowhere. And she ain't mad scabby. She's mad scabby. Look at her chin.
Mad scabby.
It's just like yours.
She mad scabby. All right, last one. Instagram reel. From Itsuko. If you failed me now, Itsuko, I'll fucking destroy you. You're going to wish for Hiroshima.
Process, standing call. Where is that due process standing cause of the left now in the Rittenhouse cases you just outlined? The left wants to be hypocrites. They can be hypocrites because they write their own narratives, fictional, defame people along the way, and know they can get the media to print their garbage.
This is all on Rittenhouse.
Fake news garbage and wreck people's lives, like Kyle's.
As Christy said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that.
You can't bring a firearm to a protest? That's wild.
Firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law and incite violence. We will, of course, always protect your First Amendment speech. And if you peacefully protest, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you have seen a trend here, not just in Minnesota, but across the country, in these protests turning into violent scenarios and people attacking law enforcement. That's when you go over the line.
By the way, has anybody heard any more about... So I was hearing even local news were reporting that witnesses were being picked up by ICE and by federal agents. Up to like 30 of them had been picked up by federal officers, witnesses to that shooting.
People attacking law enforcement. That's when you go over the line, and that's when law enforcement steps in.
Where is that due process?
Damn. What a fucking bitch. All right, guys, I'm out. Sorry to waste your time. Look at Brown Up Church, I guess. Have a good night. Support the show. We're about to get iced in again, so go to justquicktools.com/mylink/coldbeerconfessional to support us if you want. I'd appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Support the stream if you can. Get to pay some bills around here. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I love you, and we'll see you on the next one. Love you. See you. Bye. Got to go home and teabag Mariah.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet.
Atsuko, you failed me again. I can't believe it.
Who they are and telling the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit.
You guys notice that Atsuko's never over on Rumble doing her fucking job? Or is that just me noticing it, or what?
You ain't seen none yet. I think I started.
It's like 35 people on Rumble chatting, and Itsuko's like, who? Me?
Placing them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came across.
Never, Dr. J.
For the stupid shit.
Never.
Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord.
Want to make the drive home as dangerous as possible.
To profit off of gossip. Worshiping drums, cocky.
Try and stop me.
Broke deposit, swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your blood burst. I'll be your huckleberry.
Let's get it.
What's that thirst? Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers.
Who called you Astuco that one time? That was very nice.
Placing them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Ice is coming. If you live near me, ice is coming again. So be ready for the winter weather ice, I guess.
When I was high on shrooms, I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between.
Who's that commenting over there on Rumble?
And saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop.
Not Atsuko. I'll tell you that much.
Get my files. Wait, what are you doing? It's it. Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it.
Good night, guys. Good to hang out with you again. I missed the show. I couldn't miss 2 in a row. I feel like I was about to explode over the Ice Agent shit. Have a good night.